Ew. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Thumbs up or happy memes or whatever. Yeah. I got some new emojis added. You guys should check them out if you have a, well, if you're like a member, whatever. And the members can post some of my new emoji. Hello. I moved you guys back slightly. I was looking for my like tower stand thing for my camera, but it has vanished off the face of the earth in my slew of recent reviews. So you guys are going to be sitting on a tower again. But next time, hopefully I can put you guys back behind my shoulder so you can get it kind of similar to what I see. So how many do we got in here? I know it's 10 right now. I will kind of jump right in. This is the computer that I just built. I'll show you guys something while we wait for a minute. I built this. This is a review that's coming. This is my EpoMaker keyboard that I've had for a little while, and these guys sent me keycaps, different brand, and it looks pretty cool, pretty gamery, very loud. Finished that. I got my LOQ up here, if you can see that on camera. Yeah, you can. That review I'm working on now. I had a lot of people ask about that one. That was the live unboxing that we did last stream, but I actually need to do the review. I have so many things on the go, but today we shall look at these. These are 4 overpriced gaming laptops that we're going to unbox and have some quick looks at today. Behind the shoulder. Yeah, that third person Resident Evil view. That's what we really want, realistically. Red Dead Redemption or whatever. Yeah, so in Canada, 14-inch laptops come at a massive premium. Shout out to Lenovo for not doing that. The Lenovo Legion 14 I bought, I don't know when that was, 7 months ago, is still the best like value one. But it has its negatives. It's a little bit of a thick boy for 14-inch. These are 3 thin boy 14-inch OLED gaming laptops. So they're all going to be 14-ish inches. They're all going to have OLED screens, and they're all very expensive in Canada. They're also expensive in the US, but in Canada they're very expensive. Very, very expensive. So we have here a 14-inch, move you guys down here. We have here a Lenovo, ASUS G14. This one here has 32 gigabytes because buying 16 gigabytes of soldered RAM is RIP. This one was very expensive, obviously. It's like $3,000 or something. Luckily, it was an open box. Hey, Burr Banana. King Maniac Tech, Andrew. Oh, so many people here. Narina, Paul Jones, myself. Who else we got in here? Brock, Jeff, FFFFC 195, Blast Bottles, and Nick M. Those are the people who have talked. Yeah, so this is a G14 OLED, obviously, 2024 model. I actually just finished my review of the 2023 and 2022 retrospective. I've already reviewed them, but I bought them again to do a retrospective so that I could come in here without blinders, because I wanted to be very fresh with this laptop here, because I gave ASUS a pretty scathing video when this thing was first announced in terms of pricing. So that's the first one. This one is even more expensive in Canada, very expensive in Canada. In the US, it's not as bad. This is an HP Omen Transcend. They come in a 14-inch model and a 16-inch model. This is the 14-inch model, which is brand new. It's another thin boy OLED 14-inch laptop. Very expensive in Canada. This one cost me $3,000 plus tax. Oof. But I had to buy into that 32 gigabytes again, because if it's soldered, you got to go 32 gigabytes. If it's not soldered, it doesn't really matter. But if it's soldered, you got to go that way. Burbanana says, I just ordered the Legion Slim 7 AMD from 2023. It's the 16 gigabyte model. Yeah, $1,600 US and 21. Yeah, with that Euro tax. But that's a good price, and that's still probably my favorite gaming laptop to date, at least. I have a new review that I'm dropping probably tonight or whatever time zone that'll be about my new actual favorite laptop. And someone who may show up in this chat actually now has that laptop. Question about the RAM on that Legion. It has 1x8 soldered. No, it's 16 gigabytes soldered, Burbanana. 16 gigabytes soldered to the motherboard and an empty slot. So that's one advantage. It comes with 16 on the motherboard. You can add a 16 gigabyte stick to take it to 32. Or you can add a 32 gigabyte stick and take yourself up to 40, which I have done. It will support it. I don't know if you can go above a 32 gigabyte stick, but you can definitely add a 32. And this here is the MSI Stealth Studio, I think they call it. It is also a 14-inch gaming laptop. This one's like weirdly not in the media. I don't know, MSI doesn't like advertise, which is weird. They just kind of like have things. But this one I got on Amazon. It just like immediately appeared on Amazon. I bought it and then it immediately went out of sale, went out of stock. So it's impossible to find. My computer just crashed. That's fine. Just so you guys know, I did find some links to these laptops, at least for Canada and the US. I put them in the video description. I think some of them are affiliate links, some of them aren't, but you don't have to use them. It's just, they're really hard to find. This one, I don't even think I could find in the US. I don't think. These are readily found in the US. Best Buy and Amazon are easy to find. Best Buy is probably the best price to buy the G14 because there actually is sales right now. I got this on an open box sale, which is really nice. The HP Omen Transcend in Canada, you can only get from HP. There is no other options. In the US, I think it's on Best Buy as well. HP has pretty good return policy, but there's always advantages to Best Buy in that you can return things if you don't like them. So the chat will recover. I probably missed a bunch of chats because my computer crashed. And it'll catch up in a moment or two. So do you guys have a preference on which one to start with? We'll do a comparison of all of them, like on the fly. But let me know if there's a question you guys want me to look at first, like the one that probably no one has seen, the G14 that there are reviews of, or the kind of semi-sneaker Omen. It's the MSI Stealth. It's not an i7, it's a Core Ultra 7, but very close, yeah. 14-inch. DDR5 runs in dual channel without even a second stick per banana. You don't even need 2 sticks to run in dual channel. It will be faster. It decreases latency if you have 2 sticks, but it doesn't go from dual channel to single channel. DDR5 just runs in dual channel, which is really nice. So it's not like an absolute essential that you have 2 sticks. Okay, so let's open up this. I've only seen, I don't even think I saw this at CES. I don't think they had it. They had a 16-inch. No, they had an 18-inch Stealth, but they didn't have this at CES. So I've actually never seen this before. Weird. Oh, it's got a nice kind of box presentation there. Very nice box presentation. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat while I do this, but not talk too much. So Legion 14 is a great, yeah, the Legion 14 is still crazy. Like you can get an OLED 14-inch gaming laptop. It's a little thicker than these, but they're very good price. So that's the laptop. We'll get to that in a sec. Nice presentation here. Charger comes out. You get a little MSI booklet, quick guide. It's good. Standard charger. What watts do we got here on this charger here? 240 watts, which is actually pretty good for how small that charger is. Not too bad. So that should be able to supply enough wattage easily to the system, theoretically. So let's get that out there. Oh, let's unbox them all at the same time. And then we will, I don't know, we'll kind of go through them one by one. But that way we can kind of get the unboxing all in one go. Hey, Isla. MSI always seemed... MSI is a weird company because they make really good, like, especially their desktop stuff. And their laptops are, like, generally good. But then they, like, don't advertise. I don't know. They're just weird like that. So here's the G14. This is actually an open box. I opened it just to make sure it was fine. Because it's an open box from Best Buy, but it's brand new, obviously. They always have a good presentation. ASUS. This one smells interesting. It has a weird... The Legion 7 has a really nice kind of chemical, probably cancerous smell, and the G14 has the same smell. It doesn't have a sleeve on it. I wonder if they didn't give that when they gave the return. So that's that there. This is going to be interesting. Hey, Alex. Brock. Remember correctly, the MSI has some downside of the 14-inch sometimes. Yeah, I've never used one of them. I've never used a 14-inch MSI. My first gaming laptop ever was an MSI, actually. It was an MSI GS60 Stealth. I think I got it 2015 or something like that from NCIX that then immediately went out of business. The laptop itself was fine, but back then Intel was such garbage. It ran so hot, and NVIDIA ran really hot too. So that laptop ran like an inferno, but that was just what we had at the time. Hope MSI makes a new line for cleaner design. This, in theory, this one here is supposed to, it looks pretty clean. The only thing with MSI is their really nice, clean stuff. It's very expensive. Like their kind of intro level stuff is really good price, but it's very like gamery. But then when you get into their like premium stealth lineup, you know, their creator laptops, they're gorgeous, but they're very expensive. Omen, ooh, look at that, go beyond. They opted for a white little package. What do we got in here? A little box. Not actually sure what's in here. Why Where are you stuck? HP Omen. I have reviewed an HP Omen, I don't know, 15-inch I guess it would be. It was a nice laptop. It was an all AMD, a little bit older. They have the like very HP-esque charger. Yeah, I didn't bring out the MSI charger. It's probably in the box over there. I'll get it in a second. The ASUS charger, sorry. What's the wattage on here? 140 watts. Wow, that's much lower than the MSI. The MSI was 240. HP's 140. Yeah. Well, that may actually matter. These are pretty efficient chips these days, but that's 100 watts less. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just going to grab the thing. Where is it? Where are you? ASUS? ASUS? I don't know where I put the box. Where is it? I have so many laptop boxes in this room. It is actually crazy. I have to get the charger in a moment for the ASUS. Yeah, because I just don't actually know where it is, which is weird. Actually, I'll be back. I know where it is. Just 1 second. Got it. I got it. This is the ASUS. Since there is such a difference in the chargers, this is actually important, I think, to bring up. What did I miss here? I remember MSI some downsides. I already saw that. J-Man, hey man. I mean, hope MSI makes a new line. Oh, I already read that. MSI makes very good motherboards, Nick. Very good. My favorite, actually. MSI desktop parts are very good. Do you know that I will give you Anders, I will give you my anecdote with ASUS. I had 2 anecdotes with ASUS. I had a damaged laptop that I damaged, an X13, right after buying. I dropped it and I broke it. This is way back in like 2020 or whenever that laptop came out. And they were very good to repair that laptop. Didn't charge me a penny. Their accident damage protection was phenomenal. I made a video about it. It was like one of my first YouTube videos. And then later I bought the next year's X13, sorry. And the battery, the charger died under warranty. It was relatively new. And they charged me $100 shipping, which is the cost of the charger. So I have one extremely good ASUS warranty story and one very, very, very bad one. So yeah, I'm 50-50 on them. The more recent one was the bad one. This is the ASUS 180 watts. So 240 on the MSI, 180 on the ASUS, and only 140 on the HP. We'll see if that matters. I mean, AMD is very good with energy efficiency. Intel not so much, although the Core Ultra is an improvement. And the 4060, these are all 4060 laptops. 4060 doesn't need a lot of power, so we'll see. Black Omen charger. I heard they haven't found an efficient way to put a ton of... Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of small. Okay, so you guys wanted the MSI first. And then we'll do a comparison of form factor and all that. Definitely it's thicker than the others. Oh yeah, it's definitely thicker. So, yeah, okay. So, we'll keep this cool little sleeve over here because I'm going to lose it. So that's the MSI there. Let's get a little bit better lighting. Yeah, that looks nice. That's the MSI there. Got a blue tinge to it, like a dark, very dark blue. Oh, that's definitely plastic. So plastic lid, plastic bum, plastic bottom. So it's very plasticky, actually. Very, very plasticky. Feet to raise it up there. Vent intake with dual fan, I can see. I can actually see the RAM from here. Exhaust there coming out. It looks nice, but it is very plastic. It's also a different plastic than some other laptops. Plastic isn't always bad, but I mean, this is a very expensive laptop, so I would have hoped it was metal. Left side there, power in, HDMI, USB-C with power delivery. DisplayPort and power delivery, both of them. Nothing on the back other than 2 screws, which is weird. This is going to be a pain to get into, I can already tell. Right side, one more USB-C, A, and headphone. So we're getting 2 USB-C, 1 USB-A on the whole laptop. Wow, okay. Not a lot of I/O. I mean, it's 14 inches, but not a lot of I/O. Is this rain approved? No, he's going to be enraged. Looks like better than... Oh yeah, this looks way better than the standard MSI gamer laptops, for sure. It is nice looking. It's just plastic. Do you think the Z16 Gen 2 is worth it? No, it's not worth it. Too expensive. Because the AMD chip inside them, the GPU is not good. Wait for the next gen. Hopefully AMD has a better chip. I would not buy unless the XZ16 was really cheap, but the the carcass costs a lot less than the Dell. Nice little, this is like a cloth, cleaning cloth. That's nice. Ooh, look at that. So inside, blue as well, very blue, which I do actually like. Screen got a little bit of a chin, but nothing crazy. The reflectivity, I don't know if you can see me there. Yeah, you can see me. It's semi-gloss, semi-reflective. Definitely on the reflective side, but it's like a plastic style. 2.8K, 120 hertz, whatever. Chiclet style keyboard. We'll get into the keyboard later. I guess those are speakers right in your face. Decent trackpad. A little bit of a gamer vibe to it. So this has more of a gamer vibe than a lot of like kind of the Creator 14-inch ones. We'll see how it performs though. It should have enough power though. Ultra 7 is going to need juice. That's one of the reasons it has the biggest charger. Ultra 7 is efficient, but to really get those Intel Ultra cores, Ultra chips to sing, you really need to get power to them. They don't perform that well on low power, so that's good. Looks good though. We'll get into that in a minute. We'll check the weight and all that kind of stuff too. The keyboard feels very similar to ASUS on initial inspection. Yes, last year's ASUS, not this year's ASUS. You guys have probably seen a G14 on like every channel in the world, so we'll do that one last. Let's do the HP Transcend. There's not very many videos of this. I like glass, yeah. Adamola, because I actually like glossy screens. Yes, they're glossy, but they have more pop to them. This one looks really nice, actually. So this here weighs more than the MSI for sure. Metal lid. It's harder to show this one because it's darker. Metal lid there for sure. Very dark gunmetal, looks nice. That's actually embossed in. I think that's probably going to light up. Or it's just reflective. I think it's reflective metal, actually. Yeah. But it's actually in there. Looks nice. Bottom is metal. Looks kind of like a Lenovo Yoga bottom. Speakers, it looks a lot like a Lenovo Yoga. I wonder if they're made in the same factory in terms of the body. Intake there, looks nice. Some kind of vent there. This looks really nice. Thin little back with the exhaust there. 2 ports in the middle. It's like the opposite of what Lenovo is doing where they're spacing their ports now. HDMI, USB-C in that. This one's thinner too, quite a bit thinner. But it's definitely all metal. It's definitely heavier too, much heavier than that. This one here, we have left side Thunderbolt. I think that would be Thunderbolt. I thought this was, yeah, this is Intel, yeah. Thunderbolt 4, and then headphone, microphone combo jack. Right side 2 USB-A. So USB-A on this side, USB-C on that side. On the back, one more USB-C with power delivery and display and all that kind of stuff, and an HDMI. So in theory, you're probably going to power from the back. Both of these should work. And then you can display out of that, or, you know, it's Thunderbolt, so you can do a full dock out of that. So this one feels nice. I like that. Let me get the questions here. Hey, Bo, I already saw that. Thanks for the honest answer. No problem. Wait, the Lenovo, what of the Lenovo? I already had a Lenovo 14-inch Legion. It's not new, but I used it as a daily driver for a minimum of 1 month, so I can give you feedback. And I've owned 2 of them. That MSI is a sticker fest. Yeah, it should come off though. Keyboard in the Omen was strange to me. Yeah, we'll see how this is. Are Acer laptops good? Some of them are and some of them are not. I have an Acer OLED laptop review coming very soon. I've already recorded it. Acer, oh, what is it called? I can't remember off the top of my head now. Oh, damn. Acer Swift Go? No, it's not a Swift Go. An Acer OLED laptop. Acer is good. They have a lot of bloatware on their laptops. And I actually have an Acer like AIO desktop that I reviewed too. They make good stuff, but they are very bloaty. So you have to debloat their systems. But otherwise, they're good. Yeah, Acer's good. Acer is actually my first personal desktop I ever owned. My dad bought me an Acer desktop way back. Swift Edge, I think it is. Not the Swift Go. Bourbonana, definitely not. Not a Helios. No, it's a thin boy. Like a creator style laptop. I can't remember the name. One of the people on Discord own it, and they bought it, and I actually reviewed it and sold it recently. So this is the G14. Look at that giant McAfee sticker. We all know that this, you guys have seen this. It's the thin boy, kind of in some ways a downgrade from last year. Some ways, I guess, an upgrade. All metal, metal lid, metal bottom, very dark gunmetal, actually slightly lighter than the Omen. Yeah, just kind of the same idea as the Omen. Left side there, what the hell? Is that a micro display? Oh, that's the power in. What the hell? That's a weird jack. Weird. That's their weird proprietary power in thing. Never seen that before. I thought it was a micro display port. That's a new thing. Okay, whatever. It's better than a barrel plug, I guess. HDMI on the left there. Thunderbolt. Is that Thunderbolt? That's probably USB 4. I think that's the USB 4 port there because this is AMD. USB-A headphone microphone combo jack. Not on the back. That looks nice though. Nice little clean there. Aesthetically, this is an improvement from last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. Those were really nice looking laptops, but thicker and more gamery. This looks more like a hybrid laptop, which I lean towards. Right side micro SD card, which is I think always been micro SD on these laptops. USB-A, USB-C. So a lot of ports on this one actually. They went for the two-side options there. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll get some questions as I check the weights in that. The G14 unibody and hinges aren't going to be broken eventually. Yeah, so the 2023, 2022 are definitely like actual gaming laptops. This is more of a hybrid laptop. Whether that's good or bad depends what you want. Yeah, ASUS warranty is always a thing you got to worry about. Praising the laptops. Okay, so let's check. To be honest, for mixed use, all these laptops should be good, to be honest. Like raw behemoth gaming, maybe not. I have like, I don't know where it is, but I have a ThinkPad with a 4090 in this room somewhere. And yeah, it has a 4090, so it would easily outperform these, but it's not going to match like even a 3080, a 4080 in a gaming laptop because it just doesn't have the watts, but it's not meant to, right? So it all depends what you're using the laptop for, right? For pure gaming tasks, typically you're going to get a gaming laptop or a desktop. The Omen, I've never used it, so I don't know if it's good or bad. I've liked HP laptops over the years. Okay, so let's check weight here. Milliliters, nope. Ounces, I can't do American, but I can convert in my head from grams. So we'll do grams. So we'll go with the lightest, which is definitely the MSI. So the MSI, 1,657 grams, which is 3.5 pounds for y'all Americans. Approximately 3.5 pounds. I think the G14 is the next. 1,482. That's just over 3 pounds. That would be closer to 3.2 pounds. That doesn't make sense. Why is that lighter? Is this heavier? It is heavier. It feels so much lighter. That's weird. I guess it's the size of it. This is actually lighter. Weird. That's the feeling of metal. This actually feels like a lighter laptop, the plastic. And I think it's probably like the distribution of weight. This actually feels heavier than that, but it's not. It's actually 200 grams lighter. The Omen, so now I can't say anything. Oh, we're stealing some of that weight there. 1,678 grams. So this is the heaviest, but it's very close to the G14. Looks like the HP and ASUS were cheating off each other's homework in this one here. So they're all relatively light. I mean, they're all under 4 pounds. We'll put it that way. They're all light laptops for sure. Waiting for the 9,000. Yeah, MSI Trident review. Yeah, I saw that. I played with that at CES. The MSI Titan is very nice, but it is huge. Just return the ZBook. Firefly. Left speaker. That's unfortunate. Yeah, you never know. Okay, so let's open them up here. I always consider there to be about a 5% electronic failure rate. Like it just is what it is, right? There's so many things that go into these computers these days. You're always going to get defects. When you go above that, that's when you start to say like, all right, you have a quality control issue. Like the ASUS SD card, for example. I mean, you're getting up into huge percentages there. And that's where you're like, okay, there's an actual defect in this product. But I mean, every laptop is possible you're going to get a defect. Yeah, so let's open these up here. Oh, let's show the thickness actually. We'll do one more body comparison. These are like very similar. There's a little bit of a bum on the HP in the back here, kind of like a Lenovo Legion where the I/O goes. There is no I/O on the G14, so it doesn't have it. Otherwise, they're basically the same, realistically. No difference there. The MSI is definitely bigger. We'll compare it to the Omen. From the top, it has a little bit even more bum. A little bit more bum there. And it's slightly thicker. Still not thick. The MSI would actually be very similar to the Lenovo Legion 14-inch in size. It gives me very much Legion vibes to it. Opinion on laptop bums. I like laptop bums because you can put the I/O there. I hate having like HDMI stuff on the side. That's brutal because then you have this giant gaudy HDMI out, power out. The more you can put on the back, like just give me a USB-A on one side, a USB-C on the other, and put everything else on the back. That's my ideal scenario. Look at the stickers. Whoever mentioned that is absolutely right. I'm gonna get these chargers up here. I think I can charge all of these with USB-C, at least for the beginning. And then we're going to have to actually use proprietary chargers because they all use random crap. Okay. Ooh, you are hard to open. Piece of cardstock in there on this one. Oh, that's a way different looking keyboard. Look at that. It's got like a white rimmed keyboard there. And the keyboard keys, the keycaps are like not separated. And it's got, I wonder if those light up, how that works. That is a very different looking keyboard. Interesting. And this screen is glossier. That has like a plasticky wavy. This has like a gloss, I don't know if it's glass or plastic, but it has the typical glass looking screen on it. Make the Legion slims actually slim. Yeah. I think, yeah, the problem with the Legions is they always focus on cooling. So they'll never sacrifice cooling, even if it has to be thicker, which means if you want a truly thin laptop, you are often moving away from the Legion. Even within Lenovo, you can go with like an IdeaPad Pro, Yogas, those kind of things, or you go to a different brand, right? And that's the G14. This is also a very different keyboard than last year. Speakers up on this one. They don't exist on these ones here. This does, I think, have speakers here. The HP has no up-firing speakers. The G14 has speakers here. If this is like last year, the speakers should be really good on this laptop. ASUS generally has very good speakers on all their Zephyr stuff, at least has it. A little bit of sticker hell there. The HP definitely wins for sticker hell, but whatever. That's pretty good though. And this one has the kind of glossy style screen as well, where the screen is actually basically built right in, no real bezels. This one here has a traditional like bezel around it, so. The G14 looks nice. Oh yeah, the G14 does look the nicest, like easily. No contest there. I love the Omen's protective screens. Yeah, it does look nice though. Okay, so yeah, and they all have cameras. This one has a camera kill switch up here. Speaking of screen, physical camera kill switch. This does not. This does not. They actually don't have a BIOS kill either. So these are like always on cameras. A lot of Lenovo stuff will have a BIOS toggle. And then a lot of laptops have a physical switch. So these are spyware cameras. If you're like worried about that, they'll put a sticker on them. MacBook wannabe. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I mean, MacBooks are shit for gaming, but they are definitely going the MacBook route. We're going to use the MSI cloth to clean that. This is an open box G14, so someone has used it before me. Okay, what else can we look at on the inside? We'll do the keyboard, but first we'll do the trackpad. Full trackpad, whole size of the whole keyboard deck, realistically, right up to the key there. ASUS always has these nice buttons up top for volume in that, so that's separated out. So they do have to pull the keyboard down a little bit, which does cramp this up, but they just put a giant ass trackpad on it. The click is okay. Kind of muted. Yeah, it's all right, whatever. Not a big deal. That's that. Omen trackpad is about the same size, but because it doesn't have those buttons up there, they can shift the whole keyboard up. This has a better trackpad, clicky. But they're both nice, I would say. MSI trackpad is slightly smaller. They actually did shift the keyboard up, but they gave a little bit of chin down here, but they also have speakers down here, so it's not without merit, I suppose. And let's check that trackpad there. Actually, the MSI wins. It's a thicker chassis, so. Oh, you like the muted click? Yeah, I hate the muted click. I like the like tuk, 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 tuk. They're all nice though. Trackpads are nice on all of them. Let's do a keyboard test before we turn them on because I don't actually need to type anything. So we'll do the MSI keyboard first. I'll just type a little essay here. I'm gonna bring the mic down a bit so you can hear it. Hold on. Yeah, so if you've ever used an ASUS VivoBook, this feels exactly like a VivoBook keyboard, which is interesting. It's a tactile, oh, it's SteelSeries, that's why. I think they use, SteelSeries makes the keyboard for some ASUS stuff, I think. They also did like some Corsair stuff and whatever, but not a very large amount of travel on the keys, and they're not a large key cap. Kind of similar to like a MacBook, actually. Better than a MacBook. Way better than a MacBook. MacBook keyboards aren't that good. Nice and snappy, though. Real snappy. So I guess SteelSeries wants their name to be on something nice. It's got a plasticky feel to it, but it actually feels really nice to type on. The hinges, yeah, you have a single hinge point on these here. Who mentioned that? Blast bottles? Yeah, blast bottles. Single hinge there. It does feel good, though. Yeah, the actual hinge feels good. Like, one-hander. Feels nice and tight. Not too much screen wobble. I was going to do the screen stuff later, but now that you're talking about it. Very little screen wobble. Like, I'm maxing that. When I'm typing, there's like no screen wobble. So that feels nice. Yeah, don't jinx it. Yeah, well, I'm going to sell it, so I'll be jinxing it for whoever buys it off me eventually. I might actually keep one of these. I don't have a good 14-inch gaming laptop. I'm also broke, but you know how it is. Laptop hoarder. Okay, so that's that there. This one has more wobble, the Omen. But it's not too bad. This has a double hinge point, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So technically it should be a little sturdier. The keyboard is so strange looking. Let me do a quick type test here. Actually, it's a very nice keyboard. It's very snappy. The travel is about the same as the MSI. It just has this kind of like old school ThinkPad. Well, old school laptops in general from the 90s had like this shape of key. And it has a nice pop to it. Travel is not really, I guess, like there's not a lot of travel overall, but it does feel very snappy. Quick snap back on those keys too. This is also a very nice typing experience. We'll see how the weird keyboard is, but I mean, also it's, you know, these are metal keyboard decks, so there's no flex on them. So when you're typing on them, you get a nice snapback on this here. This one was surprisingly snappy too, but it's just, you know, this, like I said, this is a plastic laptop, this MSI, but it doesn't feel cheap, right? There's a little bit more flex, but we're talking minute amount, especially in the keyboard. There's very little flex up here. A little bit down here, but not much. It's very sturdy for a plastic laptop. I think it's going to have a lot of cooling in it. I think that's why it's so thick. We'll see, though. And here's the G14, which I've only typed on at CES. I really did like G14 keyboards in the past. I don't know if this will be better or worse. Pretty happy with the Lenovo Legion Slim 5. No, I would count the G14. Sorry, the Legion 14. I just don't have one. I sold it. But I used the Legion 14 for. It's not a new laptop. Design Gears. That's why these are all new laptops. They haven't put out the Legion 14 yet, but it's in my head. I used that laptop for many months, so I know exactly how it is. It actually is very similar to the MSI. It looks quite similar to the MSI. Let's look at this keyboard here again. No, this one has even less keyboard flex than the Omen. This thing feels rock solid. Yeah, like this is completely solid. I mean, it's a unibody. It should be solid, but it feels really nice. The keyboard's slightly different than last year. Still plasticky kind of keycap, but let's give this a quick type here. Yeah, I think they're all really nice. I think probably the G14 is the nicest, maybe. They're so close it doesn't really matter. This one feels the sturdiest though. So I mean, if I was a competition, I'd probably take the G14, and then these would be just like a tie. This would be like this is a very good typing experience though. There's something a little weird about the keys being square that I don't like. I wish there was a little bit of roundage to them, but otherwise it's very nice. So this is a really, really nice keyboard. How is the temps during gameplay? I don't know, man. I'm unboxing, so we're doing this together. To be honest, this is very live for all of us. So before we do anything with the gaming, we're going to open them up because this is the fun part for me. You guys may be like wanting me to turn them on and start gaming, but let's put down a cloth because I don't want to scratch these pretty little things. You guys can ask me questions while I do this if you want about laptops or I don't know, Canada, whatever you want. But let's do a tear down here. This is using, oh, it's using a star one. Where did I put my, what the hell? I had a, over here, it's right in front of me. God. Combo. Get it together. You fool. That might actually work right off the bat. How is the temperature during gaming? Yeah, so my guess here is the Omen will not run hot because it doesn't have a lot of watts. So probably just won't run hot, which is fine. It's also, it is Intel, but you know, it's not, probably won't run that hot. The ASUS, I'm assuming, is going to run like a freaking inferno because it's the thinnest, and ASUS loves to get their stuff to run, their CPUs to run at like maximum temperatures, even if they downclock the GPU. Like they limit the wattage at like 80 or something like that. Now, you guys might have heard people online talk about these G14 specifically, saying, oh, the G14 only runs at 80 watts. And that's their exact voice. But that's not a problem. If you watch my Lenovo Legion 14-inch OLED video, where it's actually called Silent Mode Gaming, that's done on 60 watts. And like 65 and I think 80 watts. There's my dog barking. I might have to go. I think my new Dell monitor is here, to be honest. Let me close that door for a moment, though, because he will just bark forever. Once I get this off, I'll go see if my new Dell monitor is here. I told them they can just drop it off, though. So, but yeah, I don't expect any problems with these 4060s or the 4070 if you get that model being at lower watts. If you watch my video where I compare the 2022 to 2023 Lenovo Legion 3070 Ti to a 4060, I think it is. It might be a 4070. I think it's a 4060. They're very close in raw performance, and people say, well, the uplift on the 4000 stuff isn't good, which is true. However, they run very efficient. So at low wattage, they have basically all of their performance at like, well, really at 100 watts, they're at 100% performance. There's no point going above that. But even at like 85 watts, 80 watts, you don't lose much performance. So that's one of the advantages. It makes these slim laptops viable. It also makes things like, I don't know, a Lenovo Yoga, which is a true productivity machine, into a gaming laptop, or like a ZenBook, or, you know, some of these laptops that are not gaming laptops traditionally, they became gaming laptops because despite the fact that they run at low watts, they still have tons of performance. So I just broke that guitar pick thing. Clips. I hate clips. Please tell me there's not screws under here. Oh, you dirty rat, ASUS. You dirty rat. You dirty, dirty rat. You would hide. You would hide screws. If you're ever tearing down a laptop, you want to be firm, but not pull hard on things, push hard on things. Firm meaning you typically use your fingers and you pull, but if you don't use like your back muscles, because then if you pull it off, you're going to pull the whole damn thing off. But if you use like just your hand strength, you know, if you slip, you're only going to move something a millimeter or two. So that's something to be aware of. And always take your time when tearing things down. There's no rush, you know. And if you feel too much resistance, take a breather, because there's probably a reason why there's resistance there. There's either a clip or a screw or something like that. So I always go into every laptop I open blind, just so you know. And I have broken things before, but it's pretty rare. I'll probably do it now because I said that. But I like the experience of going in blind. So okay, so we'll do a comparison in a sec, but we'll give each one its own little limelight here. So metal bottom, kind of no intake there. Intake fans on both sides, some foamy things there. And then this is just like weird little structure pillars. That's weird. Why are those blue? Whatever. Looks nice. And that's a look inside the ASUS G14, which you may have already seen. Am I frozen here? I think I'm frozen. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if I'm frozen? Or like a talk? Let me know. No, you're not frozen. Okay, good. I think it was just the chat was frozen. It's YouTube stuff, so it is what it is. I thought that whole time I was talking into the ether. I'll come back and answer those questions in a sec. I don't want to lose these screws though. So G14 screws are there with their little patty things. Okay, I'll come back and answer questions once the chat comes up. YouTube is just eating shit on my laptop for some reason, repeatedly. Okay, so before I read the chat and see if you guys see what I missed, here's the inside of the laptop on the G14. Battery size 73 watt hours. That should be good. This is an AMD laptop with a 4060 or 4070. You can also go up to a 4090, which is insane to me. But I will warn you about buying the 4080 or 4090 model of this. I have that ThinkPad, the P1, with a 4090 in it. And as I mentioned in some of my streams, it doesn't run nearly as fast as you think it will because it's wattage deprived. So I really think for this G14, you should buy in at a 4060 or 4070. But I'm not your parent. Nice speakers on it though. Nice big speakers. I suspect this will have very good sound. I think there's up-firing speakers here as well, but I expect this to have very good sound overall. Generally speaking, ASUS laptops have good sound, especially their Zephyr stuff. So no problems there. Very thin heat pipes. It has a lot of heat pipes, but they're very thin. Quite thin, actually. I don't know if you can see that, but they're like a millimeter thin. So I'm not sure how well that's going to cool. They did downclock stuff here, so we'll see. Those are some crazy looking fans there with like razor teeth going in multiple directions. I don't know if that's to break up turbulence so it's not as noisy, or I don't know, move more air, or it's just a design thing. Little plasticky thingies there for whatever reason. And then a third fan down here to cool something. I don't know what's under there. I don't know. No idea what's under there. I could take it off, I guess, which I probably will do in a minute. Take that off. And then you have your two different chips there. One single NVMe 2280 size and upgradable Wi-Fi. So upgradable SSD, upgradable Wi-Fi. RAM is soldered, which is why you should not buy this laptop at 16 gigabytes. What of the Razer Blade 14? We'll see what the new one is for this year. I always do find blades interesting, but they're very expensive. But we'll see how they are. Design Gear says that G14 has crazy good audio. Probably. It was good last year, so I would hope so. I missed so many chats here. Can you upgrade AX on the stream? I don't have an AX210, so I can't, unfortunately. Harp Axial, I do have a video where I compare the G14 2023 to the Legion Slim 5 14-inch on a video. I did it a few months ago, and it shows that the G14 is not as good as the Legion, basically. What else did I miss here? Oh, there's a whole bunch. Why does HP Canada not allow customization of the HP Omen? Not only do they not allow it, but it's also very expensive, Chris. The HP Canadian website blows. It's just weak. Your Legion on Eco Mode. Adomola. Yeah, the Legions have very good performance tuning. Again, watch my G14 2023 versus Legion video, and I talk about performance profiles. I actually have some charts on it. And ASUS typically puts too many watts into the CPU and will starve the GPU, which causes it to run poorer than a Lenovo Legion and hotter. Just in that one test between those two laptops, basically. Do I still use a handheld on a daily basis? Yes, I do. I use a Lenovo Legion Go, which is under my bed over there. Just chilling. I use my Legion all the time. My Legion Go all the time. I'm curious what's under that, so I'm going to do it right now. This will just be thermal paste, but I don't know what the hell the point of this fan is. It feels like it's an aesthetic marker. So let's take this off and break the laptop. Best Buy Canada's only redeeming quality is the return policy. That's huge, though, to be honest, man. But having a good return policy is such a W. Brick and mortar, like I've returned stuff to Amazon. I returned an X16 that I bought. I don't remember why. It had like something was wrong with it, so I didn't want to sell it. And I returned it to Amazon. It took me 90 days to get my money back. Whereas if I have an issue with laptop from Best Buy, I just return it. I bought something from Best Buy not too long ago and I returned it. What the hell was it? I don't remember. I can't remember. It was months ago. Yeah, I've never had issues with that. So return policies are big for me. Lenovo also has good return policies. HP does too, at least in Canada. I don't know about other countries. I've never bought anything from ASUS website, and I probably wouldn't ever do that. Being able to return is a big thing for me. By the way, do you remember if the 2013 Legion 7 Slim battery AMD one will have great battery, man? Banana, like really good battery on that Lenovo Legion, because it's AMD. I'm gonna go see if that Dell monitor is there. Why my dog's freaking out. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Coming in hot. That was in fact not my Dell monitor. That was a bunch of other things that came in. So, you may be like, what did Bo just get? I might as well announce it on a stream. I have a video coming where I'm collaborating with Best Buy. Best Buy in Canada has some like really big sales coming up this month. I think some of them are out, but PC sales coming out this month. And they wanted me to do just some reviews. So they just said, you know, why don't we send you some stuff? You can test them out. I'm going to do like a desk upgrade on a video. Might do a stream as well, but I'm going to do a video first. Get that out there. There's a bunch of cool stuff that I'm going to be basically doing like a budget gaming setup with that there. So that's a bunch of cool stuff they sent me. So that'll be neat. Pretty excited about that actually. So let's take off this thing here. That was a spoiler, by the way, for the Best Buy video that's coming out probably in a couple weeks. What the hell is the point of this thing? There's nothing under there. What the hell? What the hell? It's not even over the WASD. What is this fan for? Look at that. There's just a fan. and it blows air. I guess it's going to blow air. It's going to pull air in the system and just blow like a little bit of air over this heat pipe here. Maybe that's the GPU and this is the CPU, because like I said, ASUS does make their CPUs run pretty hot, and then it will just passively cool the VRMs, I guess. Is why? Yeah, cools the heat pipes. Yeah, because these are pretty thin heat pipes, so I guess it's just more cooling for the heat pipes, really. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I guess it's probably important. I mean, they're engineers, I'm not, because these are such thin heat pipes. And yeah, it's just a 4060 and, you know, an AMD chip with both run pretty cool, but it's the Ryzen 9 version. It's probably going to boost a lot. So the CPU probably will produce a lot of heat. The GPU should be fine. Then again, these GPUs don't like to run hot, so that's probably what that's for. Just a little extra cooling. The X16 also had a heat pipe there. Lots of manufacturers using those. Yeah, it does make sense to blow it over there. There's no outlet here, I don't think. Oh, there's a little bit of there's a little bit of a vent out the back there. So there actually is a little bit. It'll flow over there. I was thinking it would just kind of mix up in there, but it actually will blow, I guess, out here, a little bit over the heat pipes here, maybe under and out the back. They're probably not a ton of air movement, but enough to, because these fans are just trying to offload heat off of these pipes, right? But the heat has to transfer up. Technically, heat pipes are hollow. This will just evacuate heat directly, so that looks cool. So anyways, it looks nice inside. I mean, you only get one NVMe. I wish there was two. The Razer blades, some of them do, some of them don't. You know, the Legion 14 has two, but it's a slightly bigger laptop, so that makes sense. I can't really see what else they could put in here. Big speakers too, so it's probably the best they could do with it. So I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. I'm happy with that. The third fan makes horrible noise. Yeah, we'll see. I can unplug the fan if it lets me, Burbanana. Some systems will be like, you unconnected a fan. You must be killed. And that goes back to a standard style. As long as it lets me, I can certainly disconnect that fan. I'll see if it runs noisy in the first place. So that grabbing my laptop stand to test, yeah. If you're ever looking for a good laptop stand, I did a video. That's a tiny little screw. I did a video on a Lilano, I guess you'd call it, cooling pad, and I just tested it with a Legion 7 Slim AMD, which has a metal bottom, so that surely helped. But it's kind of like a GT500 clone, where it has a foam around it. You set it on, and then you have a dial, and it really has this blast-style fan in there. And that thing made a huge difference on temperatures. It did increase performance too, but mainly it just really dropped the temperatures. Those things can be pretty sweet. I did a video on that a while ago. The material makes the laptop feel like a bag of fried chicken. What laptop? This one? This? I must have missed something during when I was gone. The G14? Bag of fried chicken. Feels like a... Why is the screw... Oh, that might be a lock screw. These might be those washered screws. No, maybe not. Sometimes they put... That has very few screws in it. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Omen here. Is that a washer style screw or is it just stripped? That's got to be a washer style screw. This one has a sunken unibody. You can see that. The actual outside of the laptop comes over the back. So this one's going to be a biatch to get out. But what I normally do is I give them a little bit of torque. Ooh, this one's going to be really tough actually, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull it off camera for a second. Yeah, I just don't want to break anything. There we go. Yeah, just give it a little bit of torque. How much VAT is... We don't have VAT in Canada, Burbanana. We just have provincial taxes. So I'm in Alberta, so I have 5% tax, period. That's it. The highest provinces are 15. Nova Scotia, I think Quebec is 15. Ontario is like 13, for example. But we don't have like VAT. We don't even have import taxes. On some things. It depends what it is. If you buy a Legion, Lenovo product here, there's no import taxes, just your standard provincial tax. Ships from the USA. We have free trade agreement with the United States and Mexico. Oh my God, is there screws under here? That would be an absolute nightmare if there is. No, just clips. Oh, thank God. I got nervous. I got nervous. Okay, so that came off actually really easy. Once I got that clip at the top. Oh my God, clip back in. chill, bro. Okay, definitely has some clips. Nice metal there, big black void of whatever, coated metal there, some type of thing there. Some little structure pads. Those are clippy styles, that's why. They're actually like a hooked style clip, so. Oh, it's got a vapor chamber. Holy shizen. I didn't know it had a vapor chamber. Ooh, this one they might be real cool. It's also the lowest watts. So this one doesn't run as hot as the other ones, and it has a freaking vapor chamber. It doesn't have liquid metal though, right? I could take that off. It even has a diagram on how to release it without breaking your stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's cool. Yeah. Omens in general, I found, have good cooling over the years. It's a very like bare bones looking laptop inside, but it's certainly not if you know what you're looking at. So battery here, what size do we have? 71 watt hours, very similar to the G14. Should be good. This is Intel though, so it's not going to be as efficient. The battery life won't be as good. However, the Intel Core Ultra stuff is a huge upgrade over 13th gen, 14th gen. So this should have decent battery life, realistically. Also, those square style speakers, we'll see how they sound. But again, these are leaning towards creator hybrid style laptops, so I expect them to have good speakers. The Lenovo Legion 5 Slim has the worst speakers of the OLED 14 inches by far. Nice fans there, good density on them. Looks good. I might take this off, I might not. We'll see how it runs. It's probably just chips. There's really no point in taking it off. NVMe there with a copper heatsink looks good. So realistically very similar, other than the fact that I don't see the Wi-Fi on here. It might be on the flip side of the motherboard or under here. In theory, it could be sharing some of the cooling, which would make sense. Wi-Fi chips can get hot. But yeah, looks good inside. Very minimal upgrade like the other one. You get upgradable NVMe and possibly upgradable Wi-Fi. I don't even know where it is here. So that looks good. We'll see how it runs. I mean, it's the lowest wattage, and it also has the most robust cooling so far. What worries me, though, is this uses Intel Core, and Intel Core likes wattage more than AMD. So the AMD G14, the CPU can probably starve the most, and it will not care. AMD laptops are totally cool being wattage deprived. Intel is not. So we'll see how well that HP Omen runs in a minute. Wi-Fi is under the SSD. Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is under the SSD. I think I read an article or something. Just take it off. Whatever. Whatever. So weird looking. Nope, it's not under there. Maybe under. Western Digital SN810. Cool. Wi-Fi is not there. The Wi-Fi is somewhere in the laptop. We can say that much. In theory, it's in here. Can you take out an NVMe without disconnecting your battery? Theoretically, yes. Should you? No. Do I do it? Yes. Do not take out RAM modules without disconnecting your battery, though. That is a very bad idea. Under the vapor? Yeah, it's probably under the vapor chamber. I'm not taking off the vapor chamber right now. I can do it later, but I don't like to compromise cooling. Usually, unless I'm comfortable with the laptop. If it was a Legion or something, I'd take it off because I'm so used to it. Or like, I don't know, ASUS VivoBook or something, but I've never seen that style before, so I'd be scared. And we're back to more Phillips screws. So the G14 used the star style, and it had a bunch. The Omen had like literally 4 screws. 4 or was it 3? 4, and one of them's already missing. Get out of there. It's stuck to the thing, whatever. Get it there. Yeah, it's literally stuck to the pad. I think it's in there somewhere. Anyways, doesn't matter. And this guy is back to Phillips with lots of screws. Oh no, it's a washer style screw. Yeah. What are we missing here? I wouldn't take off the chamber. The issue with the chamber is, yes, I don't know what's going on underneath it, and I don't know if there's liquid metal. Probably not, because usually they put a warning. But if they use like PTM or something, I'd have to reapply it. So I don't like to normally do that on a laptop until I've tested it. Again, if it's a laptop I'm really comfortable with, like a Legion or something, it doesn't really matter. I know what I'm doing. I can get the PTM back on. But if it's a totally foreign laptop to me, I would be worried about compromising the cooling from stock, running my tests, getting shitty temperatures, and then blaming the laptop. I'd have to do that after the fact. Sometimes in my videos that I film out of order, so I have a laptop review coming tonight. And I did actually reapply the PTM. I don't even think I included it in the video, but it was all out of order. Like I came back 3 weeks later and took off the thermal paste and it upgraded it and that, but it wasn't part of the review because it's not stock. This one is going to be weird to get into. What the hell? Does the whole back come off? Oh, it's very easy to get into. Okay. Just the whole thing comes off. Until it breaks over here. Because I said that. What you doing? I don't see a reason for you to be stuck. Oh, there's a screw there. Factory seal. Well, sorry. That's not a law in my country. That can be a warranty breaker, depending on your country, just so you know. It's not in my country, not in Canada. At least it's not enforceable. I don't know if it's a law or what it is, but there's no way they can enforce that here. But some countries you can void warranties by taking off stickers. Just so you know. Be very careful with that. Oh, that's metal on the bottom. It felt like plastic. It is a metal bottom. It has like a plastic coating on it. So the bottom is metal. That's good, actually. That's why it felt so rigid, even though I thought it was plastic. That's got some plastic structure there, big intake, but it is metal. Actually, that's nice. Okay, that's reassuring. I thought the whole damn thing was plastic. And that's a pretty traditional looking laptop inside there. Look at that. So vapor chamber. So far the G14 is getting spanked in cooling, but it's also the thinnest. Battery, where's the wattage on here? 72 watt hours. They're all like the same, which is interesting. Square style speakers again. So they all have good speakers. I'm assuming they'll have good speakers. One NVMe here. Brand is PM91A. That means that it's a, ooh, is that the Samsung? No, that's a, I think that's, I can't remember if that's Samsung or Western Digital, one or the other. I can't remember off the top of my head. Mid-tier Gen 4, if I remember what that is. Wi-Fi is Intel Killer Wi-Fi, which is just Intel B. I can't read that. B something. That's weird. I'll have to check that. It's covered by the plastic and cut in half. Vapor chamber cooling, which is nice. I mean, 4060. These can get up to, I think, a 185H, which we have here. I believe. I remember this is a 185H. Is that right? The Core 9, if I remember correctly, and 4060. So these are, at least in Canada, not really customizable, but the fins on the fan are not super dense, exhausting out that way and that way, but vapor chamber cooling with extra heat pipes. So this thing should run really cool for MSI. MSI also does not F around when it comes to cooling. I've never had an MSI laptop that was like, in recent years, that was poorly cooled. What else we got? These laptops need extra cooling with that Intel set. Yes, Intel Core Ultra does run hotter. Not as hot as 13 or 14th gen, but it does run hot. You're right. I have an image of what's under the vapor chamber in the Transcend. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you had one. Yeah, that'd be nice to see. And, of course, here's the real fun part. This is probably why you can't customize it in Canada, because it's got upgradable RAM, which I can't get out. I mean, you can just do it yourself. But they're like, we don't want you to do that. We want to do it. Because then we can charge you more money. Although, if it's any indication of how hard this is to freaking get off. What the hell? These things are normally super easy to get off. It's like slick. You dirty rat. You think you will evade me? There we go. Jeez. These are tight ass screws on, or clamps on that. Never seen such a tight RAM shield before. Weird. I don't want to bend it. It's so tightly on there. Holy, oh, this is a thick piece of metal. Holy crap. It's like it's actually thick. Like this looks thin, but that is a thick piece of metal that I cannot show off on camera. So that should keep the RAM cool. Holy smokes. SK Hynix, good RAM, DDR5. It should be 5600 megahertz RAM. Yes, it is 5600. So that's really good RAM. 16 and 16. You can get whatever you want, I guess, if you're American. Customize this to your heart's content because it has SODIMM memory, so you can just upgrade it yourself. Technically, the RAM will run slower in this than those two. It won't matter, though. But that's really nice. Upgradable is always nice. So good job, MSI. I don't know how customizable MSI stuff is in general, though. I don't know, like, 'cause I didn't buy it from the MSI website. I don't, at least in Canada, it's all just like sold through third parties. Like you just go on the MSI website and then they say buy it through Best Buy or wherever, Amazon or whatever. So I don't think I don't think it's customizable through MSI. I might have said HP a bunch of times, but because I was looking at that, but I don't think it's customizable through MSI. But I mean, upgradable RAM. So whatever, F it. You can just get it yourself. You can take this thing to 60. Yeah, right. Upgradable RAM in 2024. Even the Legion didn't have upgradable RAM. The 14-inch. 14-inch like is rare to have upgradable RAM. The Razer Blade did. Hats off to Razer for that. So very good. So I mean, we can do a little bit of a quick comparison between them here, side by side. I mean, you could just go back and watch the video, but you can see here, I think they're all on camera there. The most robust cooling, it's hard to say between the MSI and the Omen. Probably the MSI, it just looks a little bit thicker, more heat pipes. The fans are these MSI fans, which are wider, which I do find are a little bit noisier. So this might run a little noisy, just so you know. I expect this will run really cool because not as high watts on the system. Vapor chamber, not a thick, massive vapor chamber like this here, but it should run still relatively cool with those big fans. I don't really know about the G14. It has 2 heat pipes, technically, with that thing blowing over them. These weird fans that I've never seen before, so I'm not really sure. I mean, a vapor chamber is never going to match. Never going to be outmatched by heat pipes unless it's a really bad vapor chamber. So I can't really predict how these are going to run, but I would guess the MSI runs cool. The Omen probably runs cooler, but that's just because it's lower watts. That is an AMD machine though too, so that gives it an advantage in that regards as well. Jeez, figuring out this thing. Mismatching parts here. Did you guys want to see anything before I put them back together? We got, I can't believe, because they're mapped at 16. Yeah, AMD. Yeah, developers. I don't know if that's an Intel shenanigan thing. I don't know. What am I doing wrong here? That's for that. This is the G14 lid. Jeez. What am I doing? Yeah, I have the laptop review that comes tonight, or whenever that would be, I guess tomorrow for you guys. It is 32 gigabytes Ryzen 8845HS laptop. Phenomenal thin laptop, 14-inch laptop. And it's 32 gigabytes, but I had to buy it from China to get there. Which is not a bad idea. I mean, the prices are really good, really. We don't need the screws for now. Okay, that's easy to get back together. It's got that kind of, you got to get it over the HDMI and USB. I may have to flip the side that I put this back together. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way because it's got these USBs that I'm kind of worried about smashing into. So we're going to go that side first. Get over this HDMI here. Felt so much easier to take apart than put back together, which is interesting. It's like it won't go back together. It was by far the easiest to get off. Maybe that was a bad sign. There we go. Weird. Might have to give it a little more oomph later. Oh, your links probably won't post, unfortunately. YouTube kills links on live streams usually for like just as an auto spam type thing. So it's very unlikely that any links would be allowed. Even if I've posted them with my like alt account, it gets murdered. Okay, so that's that there. Oh, this is still not on right. MSI. It's gonna bother me. But whatever. Okay, so let's get these booted up. I don't know if any of them have any battery or what, but let's get them booted up. Are they all going to be dead? And I'm going to have to get a charger plugged in for every single one of them? Probably. Yeah, they're just all going to be dead. That's the way the cookie crumbles. All right. So G14 charger, like I said, is relatively thin. Thinner than last year by quite a bit. Lower wattage laptop, that would make sense. It's kind of in the middle of the wattage of these groups here. Okay, and it's got that weird proprietary, almost DisplayPort looking thing. Watch this laptop like not work. Really? Oh no, okay. Oh, because I disconnected the battery. That's why. That one had the battery disconnected. Which, if you disconnect a battery, it always takes a second to boot up. Any questions while we do this? Oh, I got a IdeaPad 5 Pro 14-inch, also called the Shaoxin. I did a tablet review of that brand yesterday or the day before. That's published. The laptop is basically an IdeaPad 5 Pro. You can buy them in Canada under the IdeaPad 5 Pro moniker. Intel comes with, I think you can even get dedicated graphics on the Intel one. 4050, 4060 in China, that is. And OLED, 120 hertz refresh rate, Ryzen 8845HS on the AMD. On Intel, it is Core Ultra. And it's a gaming laptop. Even the AMD like integrated graphics is a gaming laptop of a sense because it's got Ryzen. But obviously you can get the Intel one and get dedicated graphics, which is interesting because it would actually be true competition for these laptops that I'm looking at right now. Isn't that crazy? It's like an IdeaPad. True gaming laptop, OLED screen. I thought about buying the Intel one from China to do in this video, but the Intel one was really expensive on AliExpress, like same as these, same price as these, and I was like, I can't buy another $3,000 laptop, and that one's not available in Canada or US anyways. So I was like, if I'm going to buy this and do this video, I'm going to buy ones that like are free market available in the countries that I'm buying them from versus having to import, because no one's going to import like most people aren't going to import like a $3,000 laptop from AliExpress. Good night. Yeah, have a good night. Ademola. Let's check the keyboard, the IdeaPad. Oh, I've already done the review on the 2024 IdeaPad Pro. It goes live tonight. I was using it for a month. It was my daily driver. I sold it to a homie on Discord. He actually got it today. Very, very good laptop. I think I titled the video, "The Best Laptop Ever Made," or something stupid like that. And it is an exceptionally nice laptop. I highly recommend you watch that video if you watch none of my other videos. Where's the MSI charger? What did I do with it in this chaos? Did I never bring it out of the box? I thought I did, because I weighed it and I said it was X amount of watts. This is ASUS. Did it like fall to the depth of the universe? This is what happens when you live stream things. Your brain just goes to pudding. I'm hoping Ryzen uses the old, yeah. The keyboard is really nice on AMD IdeaPad 5 Pro. Very, very nice. What the hell? Where did that charger go? I may have to like just go look for it midstream or something. It was in the back there, but I think it might have fallen. Interesting. Did I put it back in the box maybe? Maybe I just left it in the box. I don't remember. It feels heavy, so it's probably in the box. Yeah, left in the box. I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy enough to leave it, but not just have it vanish.
To set up your device using a screen reader, turn on narrator by pressing Windows plus Control plus Enter.
So if I could
For
rank
more accessibility
annoying
features,
things
press
out of
Windows
10,
plus U, or select the accessibility icon in the bottom corner.
Is the most annoying thing in the world. It's incredibly annoying. Banana says, "Oh, cool. So it's different from Intel." I'm not sure. I actually ordered the Intel one off of Lenovo. I spent many thousands of dollars on Lenovo this weekend, buying several more 14-inch laptops, non-gaming laptops, but like OLEDs and stuff. We'll see. But the AMD is such a nice laptop. CPP Tech, hey man, how's it going? What else do we got here? More questions. The keyboard RGB on the Transcend is yeah, it is actually. It's really interesting. It has that cut around it. It's very unique. I do like that these laptops are very different from one another. Like, we don't need copy paste. Have any laptops not included a charger? No, I haven't had a laptop without a charger yet. That's a very Apple thing to do. To save themselves money and be like, but it's for the environment, which may be true. But also, what if you don't have a charger? Then you're just going to buy one anyways. And then you've saved nothing. I guess Apple assumes that you're going to upgrade your iPhone every freaking year rather than every like 6 years. So maybe people who iPhones do have chargers because they upgrade all of the time. But realistically, I mean, you probably are not upgrading your phone that often, so you may not have a charger. And this is the old school barrel plug, boy. Alrighty. This one was an open box, so that's why that already has a thing. We'll have to get this one set up on the fly. Very good. And the MSI hopefully works as well. I legit tested every 22 new laptop. Yeah, I go through a lot of laptops. It's hard to find like perfect laptop. Right now I'm using that P1 ThinkPad with the 4090 and an OLED screen, but it's overpriced for what it is. I'm probably going to switch to maybe one of these, or I have a ThinkBook 16p, which is basically a Legion, but it's more of a business lineup and has a really nice screen. It's an IPS screen, unfortunately, so it wouldn't be OLED like these. We shall see. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe Europe will make us go to all USB-C CPPC tech. That's the one thing I'm hoping for, is that EU just makes it so that everyone has to use high wattage USB-C or something. I mean, for gaming laptops, you'll need a barrel plug or something to get those extra high watts. But I don't know why, the 140 watt or whatever USB-C, I don't remember what it is, power delivery 2.2 or something, is not standard. So you can get proper wattage. For Banana, if you had to pick between one laptop in the next year or two, regardless of price now, which would you pick, Bo? I'd probably buy an MSI Titan, just because it's stupid. Just a massive $8,000 laptop, and I just can't take it anywhere because it weighs as much as I do. But am I actually gonna buy an MSI Titan? I can't afford it. No, it's never gonna happen. I'd have to be the biggest YouTuber to afford such a thing. But if I was realistic, real world buying a laptop, we'll see. That ThinkBook 16p may be the one. I really, really liked it last year. I don't even remember why I sold it. I think it was just to move on to the next laptop. But it was basically a Legion with some of the extra niceties on top of it. I wish that there was a 15.2-inch laptop. 14.5 is too small for me. 16 can be too big for me. I often just go with 16 because of the extra real estate, but I'd really like something that was 15.1, 15.2 inches. ThinkBook 16p uses Intel. Yes, and that's my primary problem with it, Banana, is it uses 14th
To set up
gen.
your device using a screen reader.
So it's going to have garbage battery life. That is my primary flaw with the ThinkBook 16p, is that it uses Intel. And it's not like Intel Core Ultra, which would be okay. It uses the Hotboy HX processor. So it's going to have garbage battery life. I'm not the type who needs crazy good battery life. It's nice, but I very much appreciate good battery life because I review these. But some of those Intel processors are 2 hours or an hour and a half or something stupid. Yeah, the MacBook Air size is legit. And it has the higher aspect ratio too. MacBook Air 15-inch is an actual perfect size laptop in my opinion. The MacBook has limitations of being Apple, having no cooling and that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm right in the middle. Hey, Bernsey, how's it going? So Bernsey here has my laptop. What do you think of that laptop on your very preliminary use of the Xiaoxin, the IdeaPad 5 Pro? And you're coming from a MacBook, so your input would be the only other opinion on the internet right now that is not a Chinese-speaking opinion. Ali Sheikh, I didn't see your... Oh, you have 2 questions. Hey, I'm in the market. Would you suggest a Blade 16 or Scar? Probably the ASUS, ASUS. That Blade is going to cost you a freaking fortune. Unless money isn't an issue, then get the Blade, because you're going to be whatever. It's a thinner laptop. It's nice, but the Strix Scar is going to cost you a lot less than a Blade. Strix are generally like a fairly affordable way to get into a 4080 or 4090. Bo, will you review the 13X? I'm thinking about it. I have so many laptops coming in right now. I'm going to wait for Lenovo to drop the 13X on sale. I'm probably going to buy it. To be honest, they'll probably sell me one. Send me one to review and send it back. Lenovo doesn't send me many Legions, but they do send me a lot of ThinkPads and ThinkBooks. So maybe I'll ask them to send me the 13X. I have a 14 Plus coming ThinkBook that I ordered from China with the Oculink cable. I just ordered it like a week ago. Burnsy says he hasn't got around. Yeah. Your initial impression was it was nice. Budget is not an issue, Ali Sheikh. Get the Blade. Okay, I'm going to give you one other thing. ASUS has very suspect warranty, but Blade has more prone to having quality of control issues. But if money is not an issue, get the Razer Blade. It's just a nicer laptop. You're going to be very happy with the Razer Blade. It's thinner. It's expensive, but it's thin. It feels premium. Razers are nice. The only negative that I come down to Razers, if you don't care about the cost issue of it, then is potentially like quality control. So just test it when you get it, right? It's fine. They're no worse than ASUS. I think you'll like that laptop, the Razer Blade. I just did a retrospective on the Razer Blade 14 from last year. Another video I haven't published yet. I've recorded it. God. How about the Legion 9? I have a Legion 9, and someone in the chat, if they want to out themselves, bought it off me. He's going to be getting it soon. I have a Legion 9 review coming. It's the Legion here. We'll get it. It's not mine, so I have to be careful. It's basically paid for. So, the Legion 9 with a mini LED. It's a beautiful laptop, very expensive. Ali, I don't know if you have access to the Legion 9, but this is another option. Okay, so Ali, I'm going to tell you something here. The Scar I don't think has OLED. I think the Razer Blade, I think you can get an OLED. I might be wrong, in which case it's a great buy. But if the OLED Razer, if the Razer Blade is only an IPS screen, look at the Legion 9 here, because this is a mini LED screen. It's a beautiful screen in this laptop. It's relatively thin, like the Razer Blade, for a gaming laptop. It's all metal chassis, beautifully well built here. Very nice cooling on it as well. It's a very robust, and it has a nice and mini LED screen on it. So the Thomas on this is very cool because it has a vapor chamber up here, and it actually has a fan here that runs right through the laptop, which you might be able to see on camera. Maybe? I don't know if you can see that. But there's vents that go right through the laptop. So most of the heat is contained up here in this part of the laptop. All down here is nice and cool. Mini LED does not have fringing issues. You can get, you don't have burn-in issues. You don't have fringing issues. You can sometimes get ghosting if you have a completely black screen and a white cursor you move it around. But that's because it has local dimming. That's just local dimming. It all depends on how good the mini LED screen is. Mini LED screens vary widely. Low-end mini LED screens are actually not very good. High-end ones are very good. Check out my Yoga 9i video that I published, I don't know, a month and a half ago with a mini LED screen. Freaking fantastic screen. Gorgeous screen. It's the same as screen basically it's in the Legion, but it's glossy. I prefer glossy screens. Most people don't. Glossy screens pop more, like these here. Matte screens don't pop as much. The screen is the same quality. It's just I like gloss. It's very reflective, but hey, you got those emojis now. You spend way too much money, but Burnsy, you have saved money in the long run by buying my stuff. Okay, so this is going to boot up. So the screen's right off the bat. Like this is a glossy screen. I don't know if we can see that, but it does have a semi-not glossy coating. So it's not truly brutally reflective. It's like a halfway point. The P1 ThinkPad that I have upstairs, I found it was upstairs. It's an OLED screen. It's like a non-reflective screen. So it actually is not reflective. Still a beautiful OLED screen, but it does mute the colors. Here it's in the middle. You do get a slight muting of these colors. It is very nice. It's a very nice OLED screen, but it doesn't have that to it because it's not glossy. However, you also don't see your eyeballs reflected in the screen. We'll get back to this one here. This is a glossy boy. I'll see you guys can see me in the reflection there. Like where are you? There you are. I can see you. This is not 100% glass reflectivity, but it would be considered what I would consider a glossy screen, which means you get a lot of reflections, but the colors are, boom, they just pop right off the screen. So for me, personally, Bo, I prefer glossy screen right off the bat. So this immediately wins over that. There could be issues with it. We could get down to it, and I may actually prefer the G14 in the long run. But for me, I don't mind a glossy screen because I don't often use it in a very bright environment, and it makes things like the reds and the colors really pop off the screen. So the OLED on the HP is already in the lead for me. That's going to depend on the person. This is something in between the two, but it has kind of a plastic to it, which is weird. It doesn't feel glass. It might be, oh, it's a horrible fingerprint. It might be, but it has more of a plasticky feel to it. So it's kind of more like that in between them. Can you see me reflected? Maybe not. That white thing is there. I can see you. I don't know if you can see me. This one would be in between the two of them in terms of reflectivity. It also pops. There's a nice pop to the screen here too. They're all nice though. I mean, they're all OLEDs. So they should have very good blacks, but the colors are really going to be a difference between them. So that's good. The Omen really, the Omen really pops in person too, but it's glossy. So if you are in like a really bright office, the Omen would probably drive you ballistic. Or if you are in like coffee shops all the time, the reflectivity of that is going to be brutal. Middle laptop looks so cool. This one, Ali, that's the Omen, HP Omen. The size of the trackpad on the ASUS, yeah, the chassis on the ASUS is so far the nicest. Yeah, man's a sheikh. Yeah, maybe it's like that sheikh money. In which case, just buy the MSI Titan and just have that behemoth. Glossy OLED. Not glossy, semi-matte, I'd call it. Almost full gloss, something in the middle. All right, let's get some colors. Yeah, I'm going to take off my watch because I'm going to scratch these laptops. If you work in a very bright, reflective environment, glossy screens are going to drive you nuts, and the G14 would have an advantage in that situation there. My Lenovo ThinkPad, like I said, it's a business machine or a professional machine, so it's an anti-gloss, like a true anti-gloss coating, and it really does cut down on the colors, on the reflectivity, but you do get a little bit not quite as nice colors. It's still fantastic, but it's just an ever so slightly decrease to the like oomph. That one I already set up the Wi-Fi when I tested it to make sure it worked. This one needs the Wi-Fi, right? Yeah. I'm just going to do a screen test now because we're talking about screens, so we'll do that while we're doing it. Bring up some stuff here. I think, these are like OLED laptops, so I think screens are a big part of it. Part of it is just, they're portable. But I think screens are a big selling feature of these. Legion 9i or 7i. If the price doesn't matter, Bourbonana, 9i is better than the 7i. It's more expensive. No, the Blade is good, man. The Blade is good too, Blade 16. It's just going to come down to the advantage of the Lenovo Legion 9i, not the 7i. The Lenovo Legion 9i, Ali, is it has a mini LED screen, which would be similar to these in that it will have absolute black, very beautiful screen. I can't remember if the Razer Blade 18 is OLED. I don't remember, I'm sorry. If it's OLED, maybe someone can Google it. If the Razer Blade 18 is OLED, I think it's going to be a good pick. But then otherwise it's just going to come down to, do you want those absolute blacks? If money doesn't matter, then just pick the one with the better screen, probably is what I would do. Let's go to YouTube here. I'm going to kill that light there. YouTube. We'll go Samsung. We'll do audio after. We'll do screen first because we're kind of on the screen topic. And they're OLED laptops. So my coffee is going to spill. I just know it. Like there's just no way this coffee survives this whole stream. I like that these two come with the dark theme. This comes with the light theme. Come on, MSI. Get it together. YouTube. I spelled that wrong. I think it was OLED, but someone... I feel like the Razer Blade was OLED. That's why I'm like not giving him a definitive answer right now. Because I feel like it is OLED. In which case, it is actually a really good option. Yeah. Here, let's just Google it. Razer... Alright, you're just not going to connect to the internet. Razer Blade 18 2024. 2024. Razer Blade. Let's find out for Ali live. Let's do a little shopping. by tech specs. I feel like it is OLED. So 13900, blah, blah, blah. Display. Mini LED. Okay, so you have three options for your screen, Ali. You have an 18-inch, 240 hertz, 1600p IPS. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Then you have two good options after that. You have a 300 hertz mini LED at 1600p. That's going to be really nice. That's probably my pick. There also is a 4K UHD 200 hertz screen. However, it's going to be finer. 18-inch screen is really big, so having more resolution is nice. But that mini LED is going to be my winner here, Ali. So if you can get the Blade 18 with the QHD mini LED screen, that would be a really good option for you. Get the Blade, man. Yeah, get the Blade. Then tell me how it is. I've only done the Blade 14s. I've never done any other Blades before. All right, so let's get into this screen test here while we Samsung 4K. These are probably all going to be really loud. They all had really beefy speakers, so get turned down, get turned down. You were probably loud, I think, still. Okay, so we'll get these videos. There's no way I can sync these videos at the same time, but I'll try. I'm going to do this video because it gives us really nice blacks. We'll do 4K, which is over the screen resolution. Ooh, the screen. Oh, I'm seeing something different here. Mr. Screens is already noticing something that I'm going to talk to you guys about in a second. Okay. We'll get them up to 4K there. Before I start this, don't know Strix. Strix is like a ASUS Zephyrus Strix. It's like a slightly more gamery option. They're usually bigger. Zephyrus tends to like try to balance thinness as well. Whereas the Strix is just like, they don't care about that. It's just like, make them work. Of course, these two didn't start. Fuck. All right. So I'm just going to kind of do this at the same time, if you guys can see. So you guys can observe with me. This one's kind of a little bit behind, but that's okay. This ASUS keeps freezing for some reason. They are all very nice screens. Remember, if you guys aren't watching this on an OLED like phone, like an AMOLED iPhone or something, you're going to be like, not know what I'm talking about. They all look really nice, very similar. I wonder if they use the same manufacturer for the panels. Let's go back and look at the blacks though, and reflectivity. Go with that there, and we'll have a real look at the reflectivity parts. Okay, so as I mentioned, the reflectivity is different on them. I'm gonna actually rotate them here in terms of least reflective to most reflective screens. The G14 here is the least reflective. It has some type of anti-reflective coating on it. It gets a little bit of a blue tinge. It may not show up on camera, but if you can see my light bulb there somewhere in the reflection, it gets a bit of a blue tinge to it. Some of the other laptops that I've reviewed, when they have an anti-reflective coating, it has a blue tinge to it. And it kind of cuts down on the reflectivity. However, it does kill a little bit of the OLEDism. Like the blacks aren't quite as shabam, like black right in your face. It's still very nice. It's going to crush an IPS screen. Realistically, it's going to be way better than an IPS screen for contrast ratio. Otherwise, it's good though. The colors look pretty good. Not bad. It's a good screen, I would say, especially if you work in a bright environment. The MSI here is kind of in the middle. It is definitely reflective, but there's a little bit of an anti-reflective coating. I can see a little bit of a blue tint. As a result, the red pops slightly more on here than here. And the blacks are a little bit dimmer, but it also has like a plasticky coating to it or something. So I kind of like the G14 more, actually, to be honest, even though it's not as reflective. It's like, this is kind of in between, like weirdly in between. And then I'm just going to put this. And then here's the reflective boy, the HP. Very reflective. There's still a little bit of anti-reflective because it's not like a full reflective glass. The Legion 14 had the most reflective screen of like any OLED. It was like you could like watch your face in it. However, for color work, it was fantastic. The blacks here are dimmer, or are more, I don't know, like vibrant or something. However, I can really see myself in this here because I have a lot of lights going on. So if you're in a dark room and you kill off the lights, the Omen, you're going to get a little bit more rich colors. The red is more vibrant here, straight up. But it's really reflective, actually. So I'm not sure. Look at this McAfee virus here popping up. So I might be leaning towards the G14, which is surprising. They're so close though that it's like it doesn't really matter. But it's just that the G14, it really does cut down the gloss. In a dark room, I think the G14 would lose, like handily, which we can kill the lights in a minute. But this is a fairly well lit room right now. It's sunny outside here. Oops. It's sunny outside here. I have a lot of lights on, and I think when it's that, why does this keep doing that? When it's that reflective here, it does kind of kill it a little bit on the these two. McAfee bloatware. Yeah, you guys are still helping. Ali, gaming problem on the Mac. Otherwise, Apple Silicon. Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to compatibility. What the heck? What is this loading? Google, Facebook is freaking out. Okay. So here are the greens. I can also notice a difference right off the bat. So I will do this video and then we'll get to the darkroom test because I'm actually noticing something. This is what I was noticing before and I didn't point it out because that other video wasn't really valid. So this has the least vibrant greens. I just want to make sure these are all really bright for this part here because this is that scene where the brightness does matter. Oop, that's the wrong one. I work with color. I do cartography, map making, semi-professionally, I guess I'd say, as a student as well. So I'm actually, and I do YouTube and I do tests. So I will claim one thing, I am very good with color. This has the weakest color range right here, the MSI, by far. It's still fantastic. If this laptop was sitting beside any other laptop that didn't have an OLED screen, you would laugh at that other laptop. And the MSI, you'd be dancing around it. But compared to these two, this has the weakest color, but it's still like a 9.5 out of 10. This would be a 9.7 out of 10. This would be at a 10 out of 10 for color. This one might be slightly oversaturated though, technically. I think this one might be less oversaturated. It all depends on calibration, right? Panel to panel variation. The color space on this seems to be the highest, second highest, and third highest. But there could be calibration, saturation between them. But they're all above 9 out of 10, we'll put it that way. So please Google the fastest single core. The 13980HX for laptops, I think, is the fastest consumer CPU right now. It's on that Legion on the ground, technically. The 14900HX is faster, but it has more cores, so it's actually technically slower in some cases. This might be slightly oversaturated, the Omen. I would probably pick the Omen for... Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're a gamer, you're going to like the Omen. You're going to like the Omen. It is reflective, but you're probably not gaming in a coffee shop with, you know, the sun behind you. It has a little bit more color vibrancy. It pops slightly more because of that glossy screen. These probably have the same, very similar panels, but because this is glossier, it pops more than the G14, but they're otherwise... I would say basically the same. This one here would be lagging behind, but it's so close that it probably won't matter. The Transcend, the MSI Stealth, I think they're all fantastic. So it's not really a conclusion here. I am eager to see how the 9i will melt my retinas. It's so bright. You want to talk about brightness. That Legion 9i, I had it on, hey Met Prism, by the way. I was on like a black screen and it was at 100% brightness, which is like 1200 nits. It's stupidly bright. And it was dark. I had all my lights off. And then I hit a white scene. And honestly, I felt like someone threw a flashbang in the room. My eyes actually burned and I like panicked because the Legion was so freaking bright. It is the brightest screen I've ever used. And like normally, some phones can get real bright, but it's this big. That's a 16-inch basically flashbang in your face. But because it's mini LED, it doesn't look like crap as a result of that brightness. I was shocked. I almost kept it after that. But I was like, eh. And then I messaged you and I was like, you were like, I want it. And I was like, all right, let's screw it. It's a really nice screen. So let's do an audio test. This, I think the G14 is going to stomp here. Even though these all have very similar speakers, ASUS just does something. They built different when it comes to speakers. I don't know what the hell it is they do with their speakers. More bass. It also has up and down firing. That could be why. Quad speakers instead of dual. These have these little Peasley guys here, which might help. These have no up firing speakers. So in theory, the HP is going to get wrecked here. But I mean, they're probably all fine. Sound fine. I had a noise meter, but also it's going to vanish in the middle of the screen. I think it's in this direction. Yeah. 2024 Legions come with mini LED. No, they do not. Only the Legion 9i Shake, which is this one here. With the carbon fiber lid. The one that I showed you, the cooling goes right through. And then the mini LED screen. All metal chassis too. It's a very good, very nice laptop. Probably if I were spending loads of money on a Lenovo Legion, which clearly I did because I bought it. That comes with Game Pass, by the way. I think they all do, just so you know. I will not redeem that because these laptops are probably going to be bought by someone else. One of them I might keep, but until I know which one. Lo-Fi Samsung. I think they all come with 3 months Game Pass. That's Canadian and American thing. I think some regions do other stuff. The Chinese laptop that I bought came with like a lifelong subscription to Microsoft Office. That was fantastic. That's worth a lot of money. It's worth hundreds of dollars. Actually redeemed it. And then I sold the laptop to Burnsy. Is the 9i my primary laptop? No, Ali, because I sold it to someone, to King Maniac, right above you. From not using it, because that would be an asshole move. I'm using a ThinkPad with an OLED screen. And a 4090, but it's not that fast because the 4090 is not very high watts. It's a good laptop, but it's only runs at like 80 to 100 watts on a 4090, whereas the Legion runs at 170 watts. So it performs like legitimately double. The ThinkPad? Well, give me a sec. I'll show you. I'll be right back. Trust me, you don't want it, but I'll be right back. I'm on a mini LED slash OLED kick. I have other OLED laptops in my office too, like the IdeaPad and that, but this is a Lenovo ThinkPad P1, formerly known as the Extreme. It's got fingerprints on it. It's my primary laptop. OLED screen, 13900 and a 4090. But it's a lower wattage 4090. So it actually performs, I don't know, it would outperform a 4070, but not by much. It would be like a 4070 Ti if that existed. It also has a lot of VRAM though. So infinite Microsoft money glitch, yeah, or Office glitch. Okay, let's do audio first. Let's do what I think is going to be the weakest first to give it fairness here. Let's go like that. If you have headphones, you may want to mute them because I can't control audio on a stream until after the fact. Let's go with YouTube. Does usually fix audio, but it might just, no. This has a French and English keyboard, by the way. Can you stop it? All right, I'm going to click the sound here. Oh my God. I said don't ask me again. All right. It does have good bass. It's not really loud though. It's sitting between 70 and 80. Not even 78. Are any of these screens the same as the Slim 5 14-inch OLED? Not really. They're all a little bit different. Like Advanced Optimus, refresh rates. They're similar though. They're all going to be similar to one another. The closest to the Slim would probably be this one because it's reflective. The Lenovo Legion 5 Slim has a very reflective screen, which I like because it pops, but some people may not like that. Let's put this down so it's flat, otherwise it's not going to be a fair comparison. The Omen sounded good though. I would say, I don't know, an 8.5 out of 10 on a productivity laptop scale. Compared to a gaming laptop, it obliterates most gaming laptops. Gaming laptops typically have shite speakers. Like most of them have bad speakers. So this is going to be better than most gaming laptops, but it's not going to beat out like a MacBook. It's not on the same level as that. Yeah, King Maniac Tech, you're right. 16 gigabyte 4070 Ti is basically what that ThinkPad is there. I think the laptop 3080 Ti is way better value than the 4080. Yeah, probably, man. The 3080 Ti is still a beast. It's got 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and it's just a lot of power. It's just that the thing is they're kind of rare now, so the prices of those laptops have gone up. But 3080 Ti, like if you have a 3080 Ti, do not upgrade. There's no point in doing that. It's such a nice GPU. I would love to pick up a 3080 Ti laptop. I've never used one before. I've had a 3080 and a 4080 and whatever. Oh, this is way better than that. It's kind of that. These hurt my ears though. Let's turn that down actually. Jeez, it's loud. Let's go back. It gets louder by like 6 dB, which is a lot. 6 dB is a lot. This is approaching being too loud. Yeah, this is way better than the Omen. Way better. These upfiring tweeters go right into your ears and make them bleed, which you may not like. You have to turn it down. So you're certainly not going to be hurting for tweet, but the bass is heavier on this too. Getting over 80 dB. Yeah, this will blow. This is loud. It's just below the point of like damaging your hearing, 78. When I say it's not loud, it's loud, but it's like, it's not going to damage your hearing, but it's freaking loud. This will actually damage your hearing if you got for too long. I think that would actually damage your hearing eventually over a long period of time. Short period, you'd be fine. But this sounds better than the Omen. The Omen sounds okay. Definitely better than most gaming laptops. But in terms of like all the laptops I use, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, just compared to every laptop that I've used. It would be probably below a MacBook Air, but like in that realm. This one's approaching MacBook Pro, but not MacBook Pro level. But it's like getting closer to that. Yeah. Oh, the reflection. Yeah. It's so reflective. Okay, now last we'll do this. I think the G14 is going to stomp. It has bigger upfiring speakers. These do help though. These little tweeters do help. But it has bigger upfiring speakers, and the downfiring are probably similar. But ASUS generally just has good speakers. I've yet to use any ASUS laptop with bad speakers, and most of them have very good speakers, I would say. All right, so let's get this. They have these nice dedicated volume up, which is also a blessing. This one probably going to get super loud. If not loud, it's going to be bass heavy. I'm not sure which way they went. We'll see. Whoa. Yeah. Way louder. Yeah. It's a landslide victory. That sounds better than a MacBook Pro. You're probably going to kill me for saying that. Not a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but a 14-inch MacBook Pro loses to the G14, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I used a MacBook Pro 14-inch, probably a few months. This obliterates a MacBook Air, not even in the same realm. Yeah, 86 dB peak. I'll do it again. Very rich audio. I don't know, man. Ali, I use a MacBook Pro. I have a MacBook Pro 16-inch, 14-inch, and 13-inch. I use them for videos. This is better than a MacBook Pro 14-inch, or equal. Not a 16-inch. 16-inch is better. 16-inch MacBook Pro is like incredible. It's hard to describe. But the MacBook Pro 14-inch doesn't have up-firing speakers, Ali. It only has down-firing speakers, which sound incredible. but this one has up-firing like boomers basically and down. So this wins out of these three. This is a 10 out of 10. This is the best gaming laptop speakers I've ever used. Zero contest. Zero contest. The Yoga 9i from Lenovo is like way up there. It would be close, but that's also like a 16-inch productivity specialist laptop. Gaming laptop, this is the best I've ever used. Period. Absolutely period. This is very good. This would be above almost every gaming laptop I've ever used, and definitely above like most of your generic laptops. But it's not MacBook level. This is not MacBook level. Not even close, but it's good. Very, very good. This one is decent. This is a decent set of speakers. And remember, I'm using this from the context of someone who uses crazy laptops, like mega expensive, like the Lenovo Legion 9i, which I'm going to bring up here. This thing has crazy good speakers, but they're huge, and it has a ton of bass, probably more bass than this, but it doesn't have the it doesn't have an up-firing speaker set, right? So the overall like boom on this will beat out the G14, but it doesn't have up-firing speakers, so it loses a little bit of spatial sense to it. But it's hard to compare. I mean, like this is so good that like putting it compared to something is not really fair. So ASUS did a fantastic job on this. Yeah. Okay. So that's an ASUS win for the speakers easily. Screen is debatable. I would say it's probably a tie between these two, depending what you want. I think for the average user, they'd actually probably prefer the G14 because it's less reflective. If you're in an office environment or school environment, you probably would like that. For me, I'd probably take the Omen screen because it's more reflective and it pops a little bit more. But I mean, speakers really do just kill on this. Let's check the refresh rate on this here. If the right click's going to work. We'll just go through that there. Check the settings and all that kind of stuff here. So the 1800p, 2.8K, 1800p, slightly above 1600p, so very high refresh rate. I think it's a 120 hertz refresh rate. Is that all? That's lower refresh rate than I thought. But it's high resolution, so that's fine. I just thought it was going to be 165, but whatever. It's 120 hertz refresh rate, so it's fast. We'll put it that way. I have a hard drive here getting in the way. I think the MacBook Pro is better. It could be. It could be, yeah. Yeah, okay, there you go. You have both on hand. It could be. Like I said, I hadn't used the MacBook 14-inch in a couple months. But they're in the same realm. The fact that it's even comparable is shocking. Because MacBooks are like leagues ahead of any Windows machine. The MacBook Air can't compete with this, though. It's not fair. MacBook Air has great for how thin it is, but it's not on this level. It doesn't have the bass. For thin and light, like ultra thin and light, though, MacBooks they have such good audio. Also 2.8K, refresh rate 120 hertz, and dynamic. This one doesn't have dynamic. That's also unfortunate. So you're locked at either high or low. Dynamic means if I kill the battery here, kill the charger here, it'll drop the refresh rate down and save some battery, which is key because this is AMD. This is Intel. This is AMD. Probably won't matter. Probably. AMD battery is so much ahead. We will check the battery though, live on stream before we do anything else. This screen is the best. It just is for me. It's just I like the reflective screens. It really draws you in because the OLED blacks are so black and then it draws you in. Same resolution. Oops. And is it the same refresh rate? And this one has dynamic too. It also has 48, which is weird. They're actually like basically the same screen on all three of them. Other than the coating. Like this is like anti-reflective, semi-reflective, and like full reflective. Otherwise they're basically the same. Okay, what else can we do here that's easy to test real quick? We've done that. Let's test I do want to check the RAM speed. The slowest is going to be the Transcend, the MSI Stealth because it's soldered, non-soldered. It's going to be using SODIMM. SODIMM memory just doesn't run as fast. However, you can upgrade it. So let's check the RAM speeds here. Like I said, Ryzen 9 8945HS with God tier iGPU. I went with the 32 gigabytes of RAM. Don't buy an ASUS G14 with not enough battery, with not enough RAM, because you're going to hate yourself. This laptop died again, so I probably missed a bunch of chats. I'll come back and read the chats that I probably missed. This laptop keeps murdering YouTube. Let's get out of here. We're going with the big boy, the other OLED. We're going all OLED, boys and girls. We're going all OLED. Oh, I can't reach over there. YouTube. get my chats back real quick here. I don't know why that laptop kept murdering YouTube repeatedly, over and over again. Okay, got you guys. It'll take a sec for the chats to catch up, and then I'll start chatting again. Anyways, so the RAM on this runs at 6400 megahertz. That's fine. It's fast. It's getting faster and faster these days. I've seen up to like, I don't know, like 600 recently, but that's still very, very fast RAM. This RAM here should run the slowest because it's soldered, because it's not soldered, I mean. So it'll run slower, 5600 megahertz. Will you notice that on a dedicated system? Probably not. It makes a big difference for iGPUs. In real world, it will make a difference. There will be slightly less system latency, but it's so freaking fast that you probably won't notice. Yeah, here you go. 74,676, 67. This is very fast RAM. 7,400, 6,400, 5,600. So slowest, but it's not soldered, middle, and very fast memory. So the iGPU in this one, being Intel, will really benefit from that. This is AMD. It'll probably be the fastest regardless, the iGPU. Between these two here, the iGPU on this should be like pretty fast, to be honest, because it's got that extra stuff. It's also, this is 155H, 185H. They have technically the same iGPU, but more watts, so it should be faster. This whole system has less watts though, so it's going to be such a mess when it comes to that. All right, let me read some questions here. OLED has ruined it for me. Yes, I agree. Transpired. Even my ThinkPad is now OLED. I'm so corrupted by OLED. It's just the risk you guys take with going OLED is you'll never go back. I have a ThinkBook 16P, which is just over there. I can see it. And it has the gorgeous Lenovo Legion 3.2K screen that the Lenovo Legion 7 Slims have. And it's such a nice screen. The color vibrancy. Ooh, my screen's here. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking and they got my new monitor. There we go. I got my monitor. New monitor inbound. I actually had that monitor in the past and I sold it and I regretted it. So I bought it again. CS2 latency test. I'm going to do a gaming test in a minute, Chandra. Good mid-price laptop for music production. Speakers are going to matter. If you don't need dedicated graphics, actually get yourself a Lenovo Slim 7i or 7 AMD. Very good speakers. And they don't have GPUs, or they do, it's like a 3050, which is fine. If you need gaming, probably a 2023 G14. Because it's going to have really good speakers. Okay. Yeah, OLED. Oh, and for King Maniac Tech, if you guys, he bought the Mini LED. Mini LED and OLED are basically the same. There's differences, but if you go from Mini LED to OLED, you're not going to notice the difference. So the other thing I want to check is the SSDs and that kind of stuff. Then we'll get into some like actual tests and stuff. Samsung MVZ, which is a Samsung 980 Pro. This has a Samsung 980 Pro. This has a Western Digital SN560. This is a better SSD. Still a good SSD though. This has a Western Digital SN810. So that would be slightly better than this. If I know my numbers, it would be this one being middle, lowest, and this is by far the fastest, 980 Pro. Wi-Fi. All of these SSDs are fast. You're not going to notice the difference. 6E MediaTek on the AMD because it's AMD, so it uses MediaTek. Wi-Fi 7 on the MSI, which is really nice, and Wi-Fi 7 on the Omen, so they win by default. It's not only is it 7, but it's also Intel Wi-Fi, so it's better. And then RTX 4060 at, I think it runs at 80 watts or 90 watts or something like that. I can't remember. And AMD NVIDIA 4060. I think this runs up to 100 watts or so. It's not going to make really that much difference. NVIDIA 4060, this one runs the slowest technically. They should perform somewhat similar. Qualcomm powered laptops are coming out at the end of the month. Is it worth the hype? No. Because of software compatibility. Eventually, yes. The advantage of Qualcomm laptops are for people who refuse to admit that AMD laptops have crazy good battery life and don't have compatibility issues. This laptop, in theory, I'm going to theorize this right now, will have double the battery life of these two laptops. So when they compare those Qualcomm laptops and say, you know, these Intel ones, oh, it's 50 to 80% more battery life than Intel. So is AMD. Why are we not talking about AMD? This is one of the reasons I talk about AMD all the time. The battery life on that Lenovo IdeaPad 5 Pro that I just sent to Bernsey in the chat has 20 hours of idle battery life while using it at 100% brightness and 12 hours of YouTube playback. 12 hours. 12 hours. So I think that the ARM stuff is going to be really good, but it's going to have serious compatibility issues right now. So I don't think you should buy an ARM laptop yet. Let other people mess with them. Let the developers, once they're mainlined, you know, develop compatibility layers like they did for the Steam Deck to, you know, really let the Steam Deck sing, for example, with Linux. Once that's there, ARM laptops are going to be fantastic. But for now, you could run into software compatibility issues and be at a complete dead stop where you can't use it. Is the ThinkPad 60 hertz? The ThinkPad is 60 hertz, Ali. It doesn't have a gaming screen. It's a really nice, it's a 4K OLED screen, beautiful screen, but it's only 60 hertz. So, okay, we're not gonna do battery life right now. Let's do some quick gaming tests. I'll probably just do like, I don't know, maybe like a Steam overlay because I'd have to do MSI Afterburn on all of them. That's gonna take like freaking hours. But I am gonna upgrade the NVIDIA drivers because the chipset drivers don't really matter, but the NVIDIA drivers are really gonna matter here. These could be pretty old technically, especially that one because technically it's an older laptop. So GeForce, I'm going to use the beta software. It can do its thing. NVIDIA beta software, which I actually do like the NVIDIA beta software. I've had a lot of issues. If you watch my last stream, oh my God. If any of you guys were in my last stream watching that LOQ with the NVIDIA drivers, God save me. It was, what was it, an hour to get those NVIDIA drivers working? Brutal, absolutely brutal. I really hope I don't have to do DDU and all that kind of stuff here. We'll see if we have to, but we'll see if we can sneak by without having to do that. NVIDIA drivers have been bad for the past year. Not year, 9 months. Where's the download here? Did I miss it? Oh, there it is, download. That one, God, Bing. Beta drive, oh, I guess beta software. God, Bing is such a bad search engine. There it is. Here. Oh yeah, the LOQ is an adventure. Oh my God. Yeah, you actually reminded me to use DDU, which is, as someone who uses Intel Arc as their like primary desktop, or did recently, until recently. I don't know why I didn't do that. Probably because it's, usually I can solve it by using the beta app. It will like just fix it because I go with studio drivers. But oh my God, was that a nightmare. If these have an issue, I'll just go with the beta. I'll just use DDU right away. Beta driver. You have to go with beta software. Just type it like that. Okay. Did you disable core isolation? I did not. I did not do that. I'm going to do everything stock. You can tweak these you can tweak these Intel chips quite a bit. There's a person on my Discord, Karath. He bought an MSI Claw and made it perform way better than it did at stock because the MSI Claw doesn't have enough watts to make the Intel chip work properly. It needs another 20 watts for the system. But he disabled some cores and did some other stuff and got it running much better than stock. So, oh, I got the GeForce Experience one. GeForce Experience beta? Like, that's how they trick you. You'd think they would want to abandon that GeForce Experience that nobody liked. Upgrade. Okay. Holy long stream. Yeah, what are we at now? 2 hours? It doesn't actually tell me. 2 hours ago. Yeah, we're getting into the gaming. Yeah, I had to do all the. I think a lot of people, the gaming performance on these laptops is going to be relatively similar. It won't be the same, but it'll be relatively similar. A lot of it came down to screen, audio, that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to give you the price breakdown here in Canada. The Omen is crazy in Canada. This thing, I'll show you the screen wobble in a sec. This thing was 3,000 Canadian dollars. Crazy. $2,500, which is expensive, but whatever, and $2,500. All way too expensive. All of these laptops are overpriced. We'll just say that right now. I also got the G14 open box from Best Buy, which was nice because I saved $200. So Best Buy coming in clutch with those open box, and whoever decided to return it, having regret purchase. Thank you. There's an open box G16 that I'm going to buy soon too, later, but I don't have any money right now. This is like $10,000 worth of laptops, so obviously I have no money. Game ready. I think I did game ready, did I? Nothing frozen. It was open box. Transcend I got from Best Buy. Oh, you also got an open box. Nice. Yeah, this is brand new. It's like someone bought it and probably their bank account was like, you did not just buy that $3,000 laptop, and so they refunded it. But it saved me, I think it was about 200 less, which not on sale is nice because otherwise this is definitely a nicer screen than that. I just love the gloss. It's so much more vibrant. The black is so much deeper on that than this. Someone asked about the screen wobble. Yeah, it's pretty bad. This one I don't remember checking actually. There's no screen wobble. Middle. Bad. Okay. And good actually for screen wobble. Screen wobble. Which is interesting. That is a single hinge. It's a little bit more plastic, and this is a tighter screen. 65 watt TDP is wild. Maybe it's like 90. This one here, it might be 65 watts. It won't be as bad as you think. We'll put it that way. These are going to be closer in performance than you think. I'm expecting like a 10% performance difference, which I could be totally wrong. They also use different CPUs. The risk with the Omen is not the CPU. It's not the GPU. It's the CPU. Having a Core Ultra 185H with that tiny ass little charger is going to be a risk. Ali, I'm not doing the Razer 14 or the Legion 14 because they're not new. They're old laptops. They're 1 year old. I'm only doing new laptops right now. It's also not an OLED. The Razer's not an OLED either. The only one that should be here that isn't technically, I guess, would be the Legion, but it's a year old. I could have bought one and did it with this, but yeah, whatever. The Legion would beat all of them. So the Legion 14-inch would beat all of these laptops. Period. It would outperform all of them. It has the best performance tuning and the best cooling. So it would beat them all. Actually, this one might do okay. This has a Core Ultra, but it's like the charger is a high wattage charger. I'm really worried about the charger on here being such a low wattage. What was it? 140 watts for a 185H and a 4060. This thing's not going to perform well. The CPU is going to be the issue on the Omen. So I can't remember who mentioned core isolation, design gears. If you buy the Omen, you might want to actually do some shenanigans with the CPU because 140 watts is not enough for a 185H and a 4060. It's just not. The 4060 could take up to 100, but it'll be fine with 60 even. But that doesn't leave a lot of watts for that CPU, and that CPU wants like 80 to 100 watts. I put in studio. Shit. Yeah, I think this is gonna have a CPU issue. If we play GPU heavy games on the Omen, it probably won't matter. But if we do like Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk, it might get smashed. Can I show the back of the MSI? Yes, I can. So it's got a little light in there. I didn't notice. A little exhaust bum there. Plastic lid, just so you know. But it's a nice look. It's got a blue vibe to it. Bottom is metal though, but it's plastic here and a plastic deck. So it definitely has more plastic. But it's not a low-end plastic. Lenovo will let you push the GPU. Yeah, so Lenovo will... The difference with the Lenovo Legion is if you put it into like performance mode, balance mode, and silent mode, if you watch my G14 video where I compare it to the Lenovo Legion, the G14 always allocates too many watts to the CPU, And what happens is then the GPU starves. Whereas the Legion, if you go down those power modes to the lower modes, it will starve the CPU a little bit because it probably doesn't need it, and it allows the GPU to have slightly more watts, which ends up giving it better performance. All right, are you gonna just install? I thought I already did that. Is it like installing over itself? We'll let it go. Did the Omen 14 and ROG 14 lower case made of? No, they're metal. 100% metal on the ROG, 100% metal on the Omen, half plastic, so plastic metal bottom, plastic upper and lid on here. The Legion 5 is also partially plastic as well. It's different though. It has a plastic lid, and then the other two parts, sorry, it has a metal lid and the other two parts are plastic. So these are definitely the most like premium, being metal. Okay, this is gonna take forever. You know what I'm gonna do is do Cinebench, because that'll give us some quick temperatures while we wait for the freaking NVIDIA drivers to do its thing. And then we can get, I just want to get that temperature on that, because there's such different thermal solutions on these laptops. I just want to get a rough idea. It'll be different with gaming. They do have the same GPUs. So in theory, we'll be able to extrapolate to some degree the temperatures, because I'm not going to do MSI Afterburner setup on all these laptops. It would take forever. I'll just do like the Steam overlay. Oh, this has Game Pass too. But I do want to get some temperatures. So looks like they all have Game Pass. Cinebench. I said no. Get. I can hear the fan on that going. MSI laptops are loud, by the way, just so you know. Every MSI laptop I've ever used are loud. They use different fans. MSI Claw was able to get Robert. Hey, Robert. Oh, you are, yeah. I won't give your other name away, but yeah. So that, what you're talking about, the core isolation on that, I think is going to be critical. I don't know if you heard me talk about that, but this Omen only has a 140 watt charger for a 4060 and a 185H, which is brutal. This guy had, I think, 240 watts, which has the same GPU, and it has a 155H. So this thing's not going to be hurting for watts at all. This thing, the charger is going to be more than enough. The G14 does use less watts, and it has less watts for the GPU as well. I think it's 80 though, which I think is totally fine, but it's also AMD, so it's fine. Can't seem to push the 4060 over 80C. Depends on your system. Some of them, the 4060 doesn't run hot, so unless your CPU is really hot and the whole system is hot, then you'll probably be fine. Your full-time reviews are a joke. You recommend bad products. I returned this laptop because it's freezing while installing Windows out of the box. Crazy that your full-time reviews can't be honest. I am honest, but that's cool. It sounds like you got a lemon, my friend. I don't run quality control for every company. So, and I also don't have sponsored reviews or anything. Everything I buy myself. So unless I worked in the factory for that company and did the quality control, I wouldn't be able to control your laptop. So I'm sorry for that. I don't make laptops, unfortunately. I don't have that skill set. I just test them. But if you have a laptop that has a problem, you should probably return it, my man. Usually that's what I would do. That's why you have return windows, just so you know. This one is frozen, which is annoying. Hardware info. Hardware info. Okay. First time messing with the 4060. Good to know it runs cool. It does run cool. Yeah, it's low watt, right? So if you watch my Legion 5 2022 versus 2023 video, I compared to the 3070 Ti, 4060 versus 3070 Ti, and they're close. Like the 3070 Ti is technically faster, but they're close enough. But the 3070 Ti is way hotter. It needs like 150 watts to do what the 4060 does roughly with 100 watts, roughly. It would be better compared to like a 4070, but I didn't have one at the time. But the real point there is that, you know, it uses like 50% more watts to get to its max performance, whereas the 4060 and 4070 really they peak at like 100 watts. So you don't need to just keep dumping watts and dumping watts and dumping watts into those CPUs, into those GPUs, which means you don't get as much temperatures, which means you don't get as much micro stutter, thermal throttling, and that. So there are advantages to you know, just having a chip that's more efficient, because you don't have to really dump watts into it to get your max performance, which means your temperatures stay lower. When your temperatures get really high, you're usually going to get that micro stutter because the chip is boosting and throttling. So, okay. So, we're doing good here. One more hardware info. We'll check our temperatures on Cinebench. And scores, I guess, too. And then the gaming stuff. Because I am actually curious how this is. I think this system is going to be a bit hard-pressed to keep up, we'll put it that way, in terms of the wattages. I've heard a lot of people talk about the G14 with its low wattage, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. Seeing that it's AMD and it's still giving a good 80 watts to that 4060, I don't think it's going to be a problem. But I could be wrong. They're all so loud. Okay, so we got all these set up here. This one has a sensor that doesn't want to be measured, so you say don't measure. That's fine. And you're good. Okay, runs very stable. The ThinkPad on the left. Sorry, I didn't see that. This is a ThinkPad on the left, and AMD. This is the 4090 ThinkPad, the P1, which is like an extreme from before, but I didn't read the previous comment, sorry. Okay, so let's go like this here. I'm going to leave them flat for now. There's something under this. Nope, it just sits up higher. Flat for now, and we can raise the back in that too. I'll check the noise in that. I don't remember how to do all the performance mode in these laptops though. Is this function Q? Function P? Nope. I'm gonna have to go through Armory Crate. HP, MSI has a performance mode, but it's in that weird software. Omen, I thought you did function Q. No, you don't. Damn it. I'm gonna have to go in here to check the performance modes on all these laptops. Make sure they're in max. One day there'll be a world where all the laptops use the same software. Welcome to Home and Gaming Hub. Sure, whatever. Just steal my data. HP is like the most bloaty of them, but they actually have some cool like RAM optimizers in here. Yeah, here, which actually it actually works. Like it'll just shut down crap that you don't want. Yeah, you like boost or something, and then it will actually like kill off some stuff in the background. It's kind of nice. Whatever. But what I am looking for here is the performance mode, which I can't remember. God, it's such a bloated software. Maybe it just comes in performance mode? No, here. Performance control. I knew it. I knew it. You were trying to throw off my data. Okay, while this thing does, how about a sneak peek on your monitor? Oh, it's not an interesting monitor. It's just a Dell G3223Q. 144 hertz, 32-inch gaming monitor. But it's always been just a staple, like high quality monitor. I have another monitor that came, because I have a video that I'm doing with Best Buy in the future. Ooh, it has OLED care. Ooh. So MSI does have OLED care here, which is good. That has OLED care. I don't actually see OLED care in here, but I'd have to go through it. I'll do it in the dedicated review. This is not, I want to get to some performance testing here. I don't remember where the stupid, is it user scenarios? I can never remember all these. Sure. I thought it was performance mode. Where the hell is it? I guess you just have to hit install and that one will come with it. God, all these different softwares. Do I use DGPU mode when testing? It depends on the video. When I do my game test videos, I do it on DGPU mode, if the laptop has a DGPU mode. When I'm doing, today we'll just do it standard. But when I do the dedicated review for these laptops, I do my battery testing in like eco mode, or if it has advanced Optimus. If I'm doing game testing, I do put it in like, for example, ultimate mode. On the Legion, I don't remember what it's called, but some type of DGPU mode. And just because you get that little extra percentage, and that like little 5 to 10% can matter. You know, if you're deciding between two laptops and they look so different. Where is the performance mode? Why are these all grayed out? Performance, it's just loading. It's just doing its thing. We'll just do these at a time. I'm going to do them while this thing does its stupid thing. Do you think the Legion 6845 is worth it? Yes. The Legion with the 4080, $600 more though. Okay, so the Legion 7 6850 MXT is an all-metal chassis like the Legion 9, which is on the floor under my dog now. Actually, he's not really sitting on it, so I'll just bring it up. It's going to be very similar to this here. It's an all-metal chassis on the 6850 MXT. All-metal chassis, metal top, metal bottom, metal lid, metal keyboard deck, thin like this, and it actually kind of looks like this laptop. It has a 12 gigabyte AMD GPU with 140 watts that will outperform everything out today other than a 4080 and a 4090. It'll beat out a 4070 easily, and I've already proven that in a video. But the 4080 is quite a bit faster than a 6850 MXT. The advantages of the Legion 7 that you're talking about is you will get a more powerful CPU. You'll get either 13th gen or a 7000 series AMD, depending, which is going to be much more powerful. But the GPU is going to be still really good on the 6850 MXT. It's 600 American dollars, about 1,000 Canadian dollars. Oh man, that's a lot of money. If it was me, I'd buy the 2022 model, 6850 MXT. It's such a nice laptop, my man. It's probably my favorite gaming laptop because it's basically like the Legion 7 Slim, but just like slightly thicker. I think it's probably my favorite. And I sold it. I kind of started my YouTube career with that laptop, and then I sold it and I like immediately regretted it. Okay, let's just do this laptop. I don't know what the hell MSI is doing. Okay, so let's get in here. We're going to do flat test first, and then we'll raise it up. Temperatures here on the CPU, or here they are. Performance mode. These look so bloated to the low end. Yeah, man. This one is bad. The HP one is really bad. Yeah, I think you're fine with either CG Tech. I think you're going to like both laptops. The Legion 7 will give you a little bit. The Legion 7 2022 is a little bit more premium. I just like it more. The more recent ones will have more CPU performance and will give you a little bit more time because the 4080 is a more powerful GPU for sure. But I think for $1,000 American or Canadian, which is 600 American dollars, that's a lot to go from a 6850 MXT to a 4080. And you do get a fingerprint reader. You get a fingerprint reader on the Legion 7 Slim, but not the 7 Pro. But the 2022 model, yes, you do get the fingerprint reader on the 2022 model. It's just a nice laptop, man. You can watch my review. It's pretty old. It's like a ghetto review from back in the day, but it's a very thorough review as well. And I really did like that laptop. And then I brought it in for another comparison. I compared it to a Legion 5 Pro with a 4070 in a future video. So you can also look at that video too. That may be more relevant because the Legion 5 Pro is very similar to the 7 Pro. So if you compare that, here, let me just get it for you. Actually, I can't type in the chat. It won't work. But you can look at my video. I think it's called 4070 versus 6850 MXT Legion Tech Guy Book. Something like that is the title. And I compare Legion 5 Pro. It's very similar. I'm going to do a gaming test in a sec. I just want to check the temperature. So we are getting throttling across the board. We're getting 1600 on the 8845 HS, which is fine. It's fine. It's not noisy though. 55 dB. 56. While the MSI figures out how to exist as a laptop, I'm going to raise the back up. See if that goes down. This one and AMD, this is wattage deprived, like the Legion 9i. I'm actually very worried about the Omen here. We'll see though. These won't have wattage problems. This has a beastly ass charger, and the G14 is well tuned. That didn't really do anything, so that's fine. You're going to get about 16,000 on the CPU, and it's relatively quiet, I guess. I wouldn't call it quiet. It's not noisy. It's a little bit pitchy though. Oh man, I'd get the Legion 2022. I just love that laptop. We're going to do this one here because I still don't know what the MSI is doing. Core temperatures there. This has Intel, so this should massively outperform that and that for Cinebench, even though it's low watt. The GPU is not doing anything, so in theory the score here should be like whew, off the charts. Yeah, okay. Let's let that go. While that goes for a second, I'm going to look for my USB. Here it should be in here. My games are on there. This laptop is silent. hell? Is it actually in performance mode? Thermal control. Auto max, I guess? There we go. It was like completely silent. I couldn't hear it at all. I'll have to rerun that test actually. Whatever that auto was, this computer was making actually zero noise whatsoever. I'm gonna let that run for a sec. I'm gonna get my game stuff started up in a sec. Because we're getting rowdy. People want games. They want games, which I understand because these are gaming laptops. We'll just do the Cinebench tests and then we'll be good to go for some game testing. Okay, so let's go here. And we're not getting any throttling here at all, which is surprising. I feel like it's running slower though for some reason. We'll see. More dots. How much did you get the new Legion 7i for? Slim 7i. The Slim 7i. The Legion? Vintage? You're talking about the Legion 7? Non-slim, just like the Legion 7i. Slim. I hope the Omen appear here. Okay, so... Oh, that's really bad performance. 1,200. Ooh. 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 For a 185H. What are the watts going into that CPU? That's really bad. 36 watts? That's really bad. But it can take 80. Why is it... Static is 80, is 45. Huh. That's pretty bad, actually. That performance is really bad for a 185H. It's not really giving it enough watts. It is hitting the max, but then it's going down. I guess there's some kind of hard limit here on the CPU. Because the 185H should shit on a 8845HS in Cinebench. It should be way higher. Like this should be double what it is. Probably, yeah, 20,000. This should be getting 20,000 if it was performing adequately. So that's not good. That's not a good sign for the Omen. I am going to see if there's a BIOS update while we do games over here. We can let this thing do it in its background. But that's really not good, actually. I'm really not happy with that. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with you later, friend. So the HP Omen is already right out of the box not performing very well. If the wattage on that CPU is quite bad. And as a result, it's just getting quite bad performance. Let's get this guy here. In theory, despite the fact that this is a 155H, it's going to crush this in theory, as long as it's allocating the right watts. Where's the game mode thing? God, it's so annoying. User scenarios. It's such a bad software. Look at this garbage. All right, let's just run it. These freaking softwares, man. Okay, let's check these temperatures. So the wattage is so much higher here. 60, 76. I don't know if you can see that, but the wattage on the MSI Stealth is significantly higher than this here, and it is going to absolutely crush this in performance, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's not looking good for the Omen. Here it is. Extreme performance. Just have at it, my friend. There goes the fans. This had really annoying fans, too. These fans are more like traditional fans. This is the quietest. This is the loudest, but this one had a very annoying fan sound to it. The white one, that was a review unit, vintage. Lenovo normally doesn't send me Legions, but they sent me that one and the 5i as a review unit, so I sent them back. Unfortunately, it looks like we still can't get the white ones in Canada, which is sad. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so that CPU is up at 16,000, so it's like 4,000 higher than that. with the back down too. I think this one could probably get a little bit higher if we raise it up. I can feel a lot of heat coming out of the back there. It's actually not throttling, but it's getting really warm. I probably have to do, when I do my reviews, by the way, I actually do BIOS updates as well to make sure they're at maximum performance. This is kind of a first look, so I'm not going to do a BIOS update in the video here, but we're up to 17,000, so now it's outperforming the Ryzen, which makes sense. It should outperform the Ryzen. So I think that's good. Yeah, I mean, that was what I wanted to see. The Transcend here is not getting enough watts on the CPU, straight up. It's actually wattage limited, and the CPU is really struggling. It's hitting 12,000, which for a 185H is quite bad. Actually, really bad, to be honest. This is a little lower than it should be, but it's fine. 17,000, I'm fine. No problems with that. It's roughly in line with the Ryzen. Slightly faster, but whatever. But I'm actually quite disappointed with that. And the Ryzen was exactly where it should be. So that's unfortunate. Well, I already installed you, so you can go away. Okay, so let's do some gaming. And then we'll do other things. So let's do gaming tests. The fun part. We'll do Steam. I have some games that are like I have on Steam, but I also have them just on my SSD here. Like just downloaded ones, but there will be older versions, so I probably will install Steam and play. We'll do a CPU heavy game, and then we'll do a GPU heavy game. We'll do like maybe Horizon Forbidden West, which is very GPU heavy, and see how that goes. So let's get out of here. We'll go to Steam real quick. We'll install Steam, and we'll get rolling. Again, we'll be on hybrid mode. I'm not going to do DGPU for now. Steam. Framework 16. Is there any laptop where you can physically cut out the power to the dedicated GPU to save the battery? You can physically cut out. Physically, yeah, it would have to be, I guess, yeah, the framework. But I mean, if anything has a mux switch, like these have mux switches, I don't know if they all do. This one does for sure. The Legions and that do. So you actually are like cutting power to the GPU. It totally shuts down, and then you don't have power going to the GPU if it has a mux switch. And then you can use Advanced Optimist or do it in BIOS and shut it down. Gaming, Red Dead Redemption 2 Water Physics Ultra just for testing. I own Red Dead Redemption on Rockstar Launcher, so I can get that too, sure. So we'll get Steam because most of my games are on Steam. I have GOG for Cyberpunk. My games are all over the place. We'll get Rockstar Launcher. It's on this SSD. I own, I think, only Red Dead on Rockstar, to be honest. I have like EA, I think, has my like GTA. I buy pretty much every single game that I have, and every game that I test on my channel is bought. And yeah, you can do whatever you want, but I buy the games that I test on my channel. So one of these days I should actually update the downloaded ones, the not so legal ones that are on here, because I own them, so I don't have any legal qualms with that. I don't have any problems with it, but they're old, so they'll be really outdated. And so as a result, they will run poorly. So if you compare this to like a Jared's Tech video or something, and you'd be like, why is his stuff suck compared to Jared's Tech? It'd be like, well, because I'm using like really old drivers, really old versions of the games at that point. So I'm going to use my Steam. Unfortunately, it just takes more time to install everything. Normally I have them on here so I can just rip them off, but I have been very lazy with updating the acquired versions of these games. That's why I buy them, because then I always have my saves, and if someone's ever like, you have pirated games, I can say, actually, I own my games, all of them. Okay, just get my Steam login here, which, there it is. That took forever to get that email. If you guys have any other requests, I don't necessarily own every game. I'll test what I own. That's the thing. I don't test games that I don't own, at least not on my channel. So I can do my best to fulfill your wishes. I have a lot of different launchers with a lot of different games. So you can request something. We can do a test real quick. But we'll definitely do Red Dead because you had that. And we'll do a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West because it's really new game and it's really nice. Someone told me that today Ghost of Tsushima comes out on Steam, or tomorrow. So I might actually buy that to review these. That'd be really cool. I'll add that to my, because I'm going to not do the reviews for these for a few more days. I have to do the LOQ in that. And it'd be really cool to do Ghost of Tsushima on that. If someone can tell me if that's true, it'd be nice to know if Ghost of Tsushima comes out. I think that would be a really demanding game. I own it on PS4, but I've never played it, which is insane. Okay, so I'm not going to do MSI Afterburner right now. I'll do it for the dedicated review when you come back and watch my dedicated review. But to set up MSI Afterburner will take a long time. And I mean, we're already at like 2.5 hours, so people are going to be getting irritated and leave. So we'll get the game testing done here. And we'll start with Horizon Forbidden West. Cloud save. Anyone have any other requests while I do stuff? And if I have it, I can test it. May 16th. Oh, that's soon. Okay, so it is soon. So I can get it for these videos. The yellow Q, it's getting late. I might not have it for that video. I really want to get that video out. I haven't done the game testing portion of it, but I'll get Ghost of Tsushima for these ones. That'd be cool. Because it's a brand new... I find Sony games very well optimized. Although recently they got hot fire or something for not having a good optimized game, I feel like. Is that true? I don't watch as much like YouTube media as I used to. And I just lurk in my Discord most of the time. Our Discord. You gonna boot there, bud? Oh, I have to accept that. Do I have Portal 2 RTX? I think so. Maybe. Portal. Oops. Portal 1 RTX. Unfortunately. It was just scary because I have like 500 games here. I also have Epic with a bazillion games, so maybe on Epic. I need to like make a list of where all my games are because I have so many freaking launchers. It gets to the point where like I don't remember which system, which launcher it is on. Helldivers. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, they were doing the making people get stupid Sony accounts. I listened to Gamers Nexus talk about that. Which there's nothing more fun than listening to Gamers Nexus just absolutely shit on a company. It's like my favorite pastime is to just... I was gardening and I was just laughing because Steve was... I think it was Gamers Nexus. Yeah, it was just ripping into Sony. Yeah, it was definitely that. So we're gonna go DLSS on probably... Where is it? DLSS Dynamic. What the hell? It used to let me, like, literally... Oh, because dynamic resolution scaling. I was going to say, bro. Just quality should be fine. This is a high-resolution screen, 2.8K. It's not 1600p. It's not 1080p. So we're going to use a little bit of scaling on all of these laptops. You don't need... So here's the thing. People always are like, DLSS is not real, and you shouldn't need it. I wish we didn't have that reality, but... These screens are really high resolutions. 2.8K, 1800p. I mean, that's pretty serious. And a 4060, I mean, you're going to really stress it. Put on a little bit of DLSS. But because these are such fine resolution screens, when you're running the DLSS algorithm, you have more data going into the algorithm before you upscale. Meaning, DLSS looks better. You can get away on an 1800p screen with like balanced or even performance DLSS, and it will still look okay. Whereas if you're on like a 1080p screen, you add more DLSS, it starts to look muddy, unfortunately. So, you have a hand now. How did you do that? I want Intel Arc GPU tested on Core Ultra. I have a couple videos of that. Could you do conversion of your same video in... Oh, you want me to test Core Ultra for gaming or for video editing? Because I have dedicated Core Ultra tests. I have the first 125H video on YouTube and the first 155H video on YouTube, both of them on my channel. I'm always first. How is the battery on the Yoga Pro 9i? It is not good. Vintage. It is not good, my friend. It's better than last year, but it's not good. Intel Core Ultra, if it's just a non-dedicated GPU, I find okay. But I don't know, I've just been finding... Just get AMD if you worry about battery, unfortunately. But I'm not going to give Intel... I'm not going to rip on them, because Intel has come such a long way with these Core Ultra. They're so much better than the previous stuff. So I'm not gonna like dunk on them. Like, you suck. Because they are way better than they used to be, right? Like the iGPUs are head and shoulders above what they used to be. However, if you want battery, I'd still just say get AMD. It's just, especially the 8845HS. The 7845HS was good, but Intel took that same chip, put it back in the oven, and let it cook. And what I've noticed with the 8845HS primarily is better battery, better efficiency, and less bugs. This has an annoying fan, by the way. It's kind of like a sound. It's really annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. Are you excited for Qualcomm? I was saying, yes, I am, but I'm not going to buy one right away. Oh, I will. Okay. I'm going to buy a Qualcomm laptop right away because I do laptop testing. But you shouldn't buy them right away because there's going to be serious compatibility issues with the ARM stuff because some stuff just doesn't work well in ARM. So don't run out and buy one of those laptops if you run certain types of software. Like I use ArcGIS. It just won't work, period. So just be aware of that you're going to run into issues. I'd let it cook for a year before. So we're going to go high here. Let's put on a little more DLSS. I have to remember this is 1800p and this is a slightly wattage limited 4060. I gotta remember these things, my friends. In my video, I'll have all the stats up on. I'll have all the stats up on it, and we'll be able to see the wattages, and I'll talk you guys through it. I'll also have a dedicated gaming video for each of these laptops, so I'll have a review, gaming test, and I'll have a comparison video like I'm doing right now with the proper stats for you guys, where I get more into the raw details. This is kind of an on-the-fly thing, so I'm not going to do everything as much right now. Cicada fans, y'all got... I don't have any... Well, I'm in Alberta, transpired, so we're like a desert. I don't think we get cicadas here, but I feel like Toronto and northeast US is going to get hammered. Personally, I think that you can go 4 years with what I have, hoping ARM is good on laptop and desktop. I don't have a problem with ARM. ARM is already on the, what are they called? SQ1, SQ2, SQ3 on the Microsoft Surface tablets. But people have been reporting compatibility issues. Okay, let me zoom in. Can I zoom in? I'm going to bring you guys, and you don't need to see the laptops anymore. You don't need to see my stupid hands, even though you're going to. What y'all want to see are the stats. So this is DLSS balanced on 1800p. My God, does this look good on a freaking OLED screen? I'm sorry that my stream is like potato quality. YouTube. If this was in 4K, when you see my review in 4K, you're going to be drooling at this screen. It's such a nice screen. We're only hitting about 45, 50 FPS. It's pretty noisy, unfortunately. We're on turbo though, so we'll play with it. Unfortunately, I'm playing with my freaking trackpad. Let's put on a little more DLSS. Again, this is high resolution, right? So you can get by with like performance DLSS, or you could decrease the screen resolution. You could throw it on 900p or something. But I'm just going to use more DLSS. I think performance will get us to 60, and then we're on high as well. So yeah, 61 FPS. How's the battery life on the Legion 7i? It's not great because it's Intel. You'll probably get about 5 hours of mixed use. Vintage. We're at about 55 FPS to 60 FPS here, so it's good. I mean, we're on high. We do have a fair bit of DLSS. This is a high resolution screen, remember that, right? This is not even a 1600p screen. So we are running into a limitation of screen resolution here with a 4060. If you get the 4070 version of this, obviously it's going to be slightly better, maybe an extra 4 or 5 frames. If you get the 40 and the 4090, yes, it will perform better. However, it's not going to perform like a Legion or a MSI Titan with a 4080 or 4090, but it will perform better than this. I would still expect the 4080. Where this is at 50, you'd probably be at about 70. 65 to 70 on the 4080. The 4090, I have a wattage limited 4090, so I'm not speaking out of my ass. You'd probably get 80, where this is getting 60, maybe 85. This is 20. These are all 2880 by 1800, so they're not 4K, they're not 600p, they're in the middle. Do I have pants on? Unfortunately, yes, I do have pants. I have shorts on. Fairly nice shorts, actually. So this is about 60 FPS. This is okay. It's nothing special. I'm going to just quickly switch the performance modes. I don't remember the hotkey. If it has one. Let's see if that gets quieter and if the performance drops. Oh, big drop to the performance. No, it went back up. So remember when I was rambling in the stream when I was talking about 4060s and 4070s being wattage efficient? We have probably cut about 15 watts off that GPU. We'll see when we do the gaming test video. And we've only dropped about 5 or 6 FPS, right? And it's much quieter. It was actually driving me crazy before. I don't know if it shows up on camera. I'm assuming it probably will, but how much quieter that is. It's much quieter. Oh my god, it's so much quieter. It's really rare for me if I'm playing with a 4060, 4050, or 4070 to play on absolute maximum performance mode. So on ASUS, it's called Turbo, because it's so loud. Like, it just drives me ballistic. So that's pretty good here. Let's kick out to one of the other laptops. We can come back and do another game. But we have our baseline here of what we were getting. That's pretty good. This one's set up here. The one that I'm most afraid of is the Omen. That's rough. Let's close that. I'm legitimately worried about the Omen's performance. I think it's going to be bad. But you never know until you test. Hey guys, there's me. Okay. So we'll set up my Steam library. We'll get my... Is there only one USB-C on this thing? Oh my god, that's so dumb. No, it's on the back. I almost lost my mind there for a second. And then I remembered... You know what? I wonder if the power here on the left doesn't supply enough power for Cinebench. Ooh, I might have made a mistake in this review. Ooh, I didn't think about that. The USB on the side may not be capable of supplying all that watts. I'm going to do a very, very quick Cinebench test because I may have made a boo-boo. And this is why reviewing stuff is fun, because you realize you make mistakes and you go back and you refilm all your footage. It's very possible that that port there doesn't support the full watts and the back one does. That may be, because this is USB-C, that may be only 100 watts, and the back port there may be the one that's rated for up to 140 watts, in which case, that's why my Cinebench performance was crap. So let's just quickly do this before we get into gaming. If I'm right, this score will go up by like 4,000 points. Yeah, it's... There's a lot of RGB. It's so... I don't know, it's cool, I guess. It's cool. It's not really my thing. I'm not an RGB guy, but I appreciate it for people who are. All right, let's see if I was wrong. Nope, there's the watts. All right, so for the people who are watching this video, the Omen, when I did the Cinebench test, this port here can't support full watts. So you can charge the laptop off of here, but you're not going to get full gaming wattage. This doesn't do the 140 watts. It only does probably 100. The back port is the one that does the 140 watts. So you have to use the back port there. And you can see here, our score is good. 17,000, basically the same as the 155H. So that is good. I was actually worried about that as being a serious, like, some type of artificial platform limitation. The Omen has the best screen, King MediaTek. This is a very reflective screen, Tire Fire. The G14 was the least reflective. This is middle. This is a very reflective screen. You can see me in the screen. I like reflective screens because they color pops more. But this one is really reflective. I would still probably pick this screen, maybe. But I'm biased because I do color work. I just really like reflective screens. But if you do not like reflective screens, this screen will bother you straight up because it is very reflective. So if you work in like an office with a really bright environment, or if you go to coffee shops, or if you're a university student and you have those halogen lights overhead, they're like pumping light at you. You may not actually like the screen as much. But as a color worker, person who works with color, I like it the most. But I can certainly see why you wouldn't. How did I think? Same. I don't like RGB. It's really ugly. No point. But I need... Oh, you want to see something really nasty then? So I built this laptop on the right here. I'm going to be selling it, but look what I did. For the homies, my friends. Yeah. I decided to just like go all out on the RGB for this desktop here. 3 RGB fans, 1, 2, 3. It's 9 RGB fans. The CPU cooler has RGB, the GPU does, but it's like you can't even see it because the rest is so RGB. But I'm selling it, so if it was mine, it would be like a all black case with an air cooler, not even a liquid cooler, and it would just be like a black box in the corner. I actually do appreciate small form factor cases more than I used to because they're so discreet now. I don't mind RGB, but it's just not for me. I can see why people like it though. It does, like that laptop, that desktop looks cool. It's just, it would bother me. So you don't like taking a disco ball? Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see. So he says, Transpired says, so you don't like taking a disco ball and a jet engine to a Starbucks? Is that what you're saying, Bo? I do, because then I can flex on people. Like, yeah, look what I got. But in all reality, I usually take like a ThinkPad or something like that, or like the framework, just to be stealthy. I shouldn't be a hater. Like I can see, I don't really need VSync. It's not going to hit that much. I can see why people like it, but it's just, yeah. I like hybrid laptops that are like a little bit of gamer oomph to them, but also very like professional, stealthy looking. That's kind of my vibe, is the mixed ground. All right, so we're loading up Horizon here. Now that I have the right charger, hey, look at me. Now that I have the right charger, I'm less worried about this. I was quite worried about this test going south, to be honest. Geluza, hello. Well, you said hi, and I'm saying hello in return. Look how reflective that is. Screen is bright, right? Yeah, and audio. I'll give a little bit of sound here. So a laptop Cinebench scores are equal if enough wattage. No, the AMD is technically the slowest by a slim margin. The 155H here is slightly faster. I think with a BIOS update, it would actually be faster than that. I think this might have something I'm going to have to do in the test. I suspect this one's going to be higher. The 185H in this right here should be way ahead of these other two. The 185H and the Alienware laptop review that I tested, not an Alienware, what was it? 185H. I don't remember which laptop it was. Anyways, it was at like 2,000, 20,000 or 22,000 or something like that. It was very high. Minimum of 20,000. So technically this should have the fastest CPU, the 185H, but it is still wattage limited. Even with that 140 watt CPU, 140 watt charger, the CPU will still not be hitting its peak. And cooling. It doesn't have a big, massive cooler. It does have a vapor chamber, but it's not like a behemoth cooler, right? So if you put the same CPU in a big, thick, I don't know, Alienware laptop, Legion, something like that, it would perform better. Oh, it was the Yoga 9i. Watch my Yoga 9i video. The Yoga 9i video with the same CPU does better than this. Better build quality on the G14 or Omen. Equal. I like the keyboard deck on the G14 though. The keyboard deck on the G14 is like a 10 out of 10 sturdy. So the G14 is better. I would say this is a 10 out of 10 build quality on the G14. The Omen would be a 9.5. This is a very well built laptop. I'm quite happy with it. It's very, very, very smooth. Very, very, very sturdy. So this is getting us about 41. It's slightly below the G14, but not much. It's like 2 or 3 FPS lower on quality. Right? Remember when I was talking about how efficient those GPUs are? Right? We can check if it's going to have that charging issue, but right, the 4060 and the 4070 just don't need that many watts to get to where they need to be. It's a really nice screen, by the way. Let's get that centered. The fan is actually, no, it's just as annoying. They're both annoying. I was gonna say it's slightly less annoying, but it's still annoying. The G14 had a weird like whirring sound to it, like a ring sound. This one doesn't have that, but it's equivalently loud. I'd say the G14 was the most annoying. Maybe it's that little Wii fan. One of you guys mentioned in the chat. There's a little Wii fan that runs over the heat pipes. That could be it. It was kind of an annoying sound. Let's put on some more DLSS here. We're at the same settings otherwise. DLSS quality. Let's just jump right up to performance and we'll go to that same area and see where we're at. I think the performance is going to be almost the same. It's just going to come down. Oops. I just want to double check that. So that's high. And yeah, it didn't actually increase the performance much because I think we're hitting a CPU limit. So I think it's going to be about the same. Yeah, see, it didn't go up. So the G14 is better performing. When you're on, for some reason, balanced mode, quality mode was very similar. But the G14 is now outperforming. And I'm going to blame the CPU here as just not having enough watts. The AMD CPU in the G14 is more efficient, straight up. If you can feed the Intel chips watts and keep them cool, they do better. You are absolutely correct with what you just said. So Robert knows the stuff, and he's basically saying, you know, the Intel, if you can get them the watts that they need, and you got to keep them cool, they are behemoth. They're technically, I guess they'd be faster than AMD, but you really got to give them the watts because this is a 140 watt platform. 140 watt? Yeah, 140 watt platform. It's not keeping up with the G14. We're at 48 watts, 48 FPS. We were at 61 on the G14. So that's a big drop. That's like a 20%. See, we're at 52. I can't do math like that. 20% approximately decrease in performance. And I'm going to blame the CPU, not the GPU. Could be a little bit of the GPU, but probably not much. Because remember, on the G14, we dropped the performance profile to balance mode, which does cut the GPU performance, and there was almost no decrease in performance. So I'm going to actually blame the Intel pairing here. I'm sorry, Intel, but you got to give them the watts, or I mean, HP, you got to give them the watts if they're going to run the performance. Let's go to balance mode. This is probably not going to be good. Oh, look at 35. That's a big drop. It's still playable, but now we're at like Xbox One, PS4 performance. Ooh, look at her face. That's weird. You probably won't see it because of the resolution, but her face has like weird ghost. Yeah. So, yeah, the Omen is not going to keep up. It's still fine. Like in a void, it's still fine. But the performance here is way down because the Intel chip needs the watts. Robert in the chat there, if you guys come to my Discord, join my Discord, and you get yourself an Intel chip, maybe if you're nice, he'll explain to you guys how to disable cores on your Intel chips to get better performance. Because he got good performance on the Claw, but he tweaked it quite a bit. And it's doable, but there's too many cores active at one time, and it's just going to be eating watts. So. Galu, I've been watching all the videos from your... Oh, thanks, man. You said the best laptop, which temperatures, was the 105 Pro. Yes, probably, because it has really robust cooling, but it only goes up to a 4060 or 4070, so I think it's probably the coolest running laptop. The Legion 7 Pro has better cooling, but it also has a 4080 or 4090. So they actually run similar in temperatures, but it's a much hotter chip. So yeah, if you're looking for like a mid-range system, the Legion 5 Pro really does have very good cooling. And so does the Legion Slim, man. 5 Slim, AMD or Intel, both of them. But especially the Intel, especially the AMD has really good cooling. So yeah, that's one of the things about Legions. If you like them, you don't like them, it's your prerogative. But you can't bash the cooling. They do not. Lenovo does not play games when it comes to cooling. That is the one thing. All right, so let's get into the MSI. I expect the MSI is going to do very well because it does have the Intel chip. It's a weaker Intel chip than the Omen, being a 155H, but it's a better chip. Let me just bring this over. Hey, look at that reflectivity. But it's a better chip, so I expect that it's going to probably massively outperform the Omen. It may actually outperform the G14 in theory. We'll have to see. This will be probably the big boy. This is the real test here that I care about, is to see a properly wattaged Intel system versus a properly wattaged AMD. Well, pretty much every AMD system is properly wattaged, but I really want to see what we can do here. So This is the big test. This is the one, this laptop I think is technically the cheapest. It's still expensive in Canada, but it is the lowest cost of them. In Canada, the Omen was actually the most expensive, unfortunately, for HP. In the US, though, prices are more fair. So they're all kind of similar in the US. Canada, we just get slammed. HP is not affordable in Canada. In the US, it is. The G14 is really expensive in Canada. Hey, it's my brother. And he's playing Baldur's Gate 3. Look at this Norton virus. You're just as bad as McAfee. My brother's name is Idiot Ben on YouTube. I'm going to pimp him right now. Idiot Ben, IDIOT space Ben. He is the funniest person in the world. That is only partial bias because he's my brother, but he's legitimately funny. He does YouTube kind of review, retrospective kind of stuff. Long form videos, 25, 30 minutes. Great to just put on and play, but he's actually hilarious with like the dry humor. I highly recommend his channel, and he's playing Baldur's Gate. I've been playing Baldur's Gate with my brother, Idiot Ben, and my sister-in-law, Parrish, who is his wife, and it's fun. It's a very fun game, but I highly recommend his channel. I can't put links in the chat for some reason. It like murders them, but I highly recommend my brother's channel. And if you like my brother's channel, watch his videos, I will like you 100 times more than I already do, which is hard to say because I like all of you. Transpired. I will ship laptops to Canada in exchange for Tim Hortons. Man, you don't want Tim Hortons, my man. Ask all the Canadians here. Tim Hortons is garbage now. It got bought out or merged with Burger King, and now it's like anus tier. I'm going to use my anus quota to say that one more time. That's the tier of it for Canada. It's such bad coffee. Actually, McDonald's now serves what used to be Tim Hortons coffee. They bought the distribution rights to the company that does... Oh, did I not plug this in? Yeah, that does the coffee. So McDonald's coffee is decent, pretty decent fast food coffee, and that's what Tim Hortons used to be. Now Tim Hortons tastes like... If you ever have a garbage can that sits under your sink, and someone in your house smokes cigarettes, and there's garbage water on the bottom, if you drink the liquid from the garbage bag that's full of cigarettes, aluminum cans, and rotten food, that's what Tim Hortons coffee tastes like. Yeah, that's the best tier. Yeah, garbage tier. Private equity. Tim Hortons used to be, everything in Tim Hortons used to be fresh. They would send unbaked donuts and stuff to them, and they would bake them fresh every day. Coffee was baked fresh. Now all their stuff is like pre-baked in a distribution center in Ontario, and they ship it across the country. It's just vile. It's so... Tim Hortons is so bad now. So bad. And they try to be like, Canadian. Like, nah, bro. Canadians drink McDonald's now. Or like, not any of that. Yeah, it's loading. Oddly specific. Oh, thanks, man. King Maniac Tech. My brother, like, he's at like 550 subs. But he's doing teacher's college right now. So it's tough for him to make videos because his videos take forever because they're like long videos for him. Like, he has to play the game, beat it, go back, do all the filming. Whereas, I can do reviews. It can take me like, I can do a review in like, I usually have the laptop for a week, but the actual recording probably takes me 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. And then the video editing maybe takes me 3 or 4 hours. So like I can do a video of like a proper laptop, good laptop review in maybe like 6 to 8 hours. And if I'm used to the laptop, like it's a Legion, I can do them a little bit faster. Whereas his videos take like forever, right? So it's tough for him to just get those videos out. But he has a nice back catalog. Tim Hortons coffee is the tier... Tears of the world drop through burnt ground. Yeah. Tears of the worker drop through the... Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, it's they're salty canned tears of the Tim Hortons worker. It's funny. It's just such bad coffee. Disable cores. I think I missed a couple. Malware Norton. Yeah, this is a Norton malware, and the other ones are McAfee. Robert says, I wish the 1.4 performance and 8E on the 155. The 155 is probably the sweet spot, but you still have to like tweak it. I don't know. If you have like I had an IdeaPad with a 125H, and I had another laptop with a 155H, but the actual laptops had high wattage, and there was no dedicated graphics, so it really could dump watts in, and they did pretty well. But I don't know. I'm just finding it's like you say, there's just too many cores doing stuff, and so the watts are all over the place. on those Intel Core Ultra. Still, but the nice thing is the Core Ultra is tweakable, right? So I mean, it's not like you're buying into these efficient low-end chips, and you have no tweakability, and you're like locked into the Intel system. It's nice that you can tweak them. Can you disable cores on the Core Ultra newest ones? Yes, you can. Oh, as I was just saying. Robert is the king of that. You can drop into the Discord that we have, and he can explain it to you. It's not my specialty, but you can absolutely tweak the Core Ultra stuff, which is huge because you can buy these efficient chips and actually get good efficiency with them. Because the battery life is actually quite good on them. The primary negative is the wattage and the cores. Transpired 100K sub video special. First YouTuber to drop. Test on 3. Yeah. Yeah, I'm only at 50. What am I at? 55K? I don't even know. It doesn't say. I'm at 50 something K, which is crazy to me. I never thought I would have so many subscribers. So thank you to everyone who watches my videos. Even if you don't subscribe, thank you. I went from this just being like something that I did super casually to something that I actually take. I take my YouTube very serious now. That doesn't mean I have like the most highest production value and the prettiest stuff. Man, this desktop lap is really loud. Doesn't mean I have the most highest production value, but it means that I take my objectivity very seriously. I do not lie in my videos. If I'm giving an opinion, that's fine. It's my opinion, but I do not bullshit. Let's put it that way. Okay, so we're on quality DLSS 1800p again here, and you can see, can't really see that. The FPS is about 45, 46, so we're definitely above the Omen by a few FPS. It's really loud. We're probably close to the G14 actually right now. This whole platform has more watts than the G14. Quite a bit. It has almost double. Not double. It has about 80% more than what the Omen has, and it has quite a bit more than the G14. I don't remember what the G14 platform is, but it's lower. So we're getting good performance here. You can see 51, almost 50. Yeah, we're pretty much locked above 50 here. So it's matching the G14 basically. Oh, my laptop is dying. Just 1 second. I don't want to lose you guys. That, as you can see, my ThinkPad uses Intel 13th gen, so the battery is like 1 hour and it's dead. RIP. RAP 13th gen. Okay, we got some more questions here. No, we don't. Okay. All right, let's go down to that little area there, and we're going to test out. I think this is outperforming the G14 actually, slightly, which makes sense. Technically, it's a more powerful CPU. Technically, it's a more powerful GPU, is really what's going on. The CPU will be similar. This system can allocate slightly more watts to the GPU, is really what's going on here. But they're within the same realm of one another. They're both loud and annoying. Performance. We were at 61 on the G14, 62 when we were down below. About the same. Pretty much the same. Okay, so I got more questions. Transpired. Is this 16 by 9? Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, the screen is, they're the same resolution. This is 16 by 9. I think the other were 16 by 10. Were they 16 by 10? Were my other ones in 16 by 9 aspect ratio? I don't think so. I could be wrong. Did they have letterboxing around them? If I did, I'd have to. I mean, I'm going to do a dedicated review off the check, but I'm pretty sure they were on full screen. This is 16 by 10 full screen, right? So this is yeah, 1800p. Basically the same, plus minus as the G4. Technically, it's faster, but it's not really going to make a difference here. A little bit more watts going to the GPU. I mentioned that, the GPUs really don't get much when you get up to, 80, 85 watts, 100 watts. Above 100 watts on a 4060 is a waste of watts. It doesn't really do anything. So technically, this is slightly outperforming the G14, but they're so close that I'd consider them basically equal. Let's, however, come in and go to those performance modes. Let's try balanced. This is Intel, so it probably will get a pretty big drop in performance, in theory. And remember, we're on hybrid mode for all these laptops here. So if you put it in dedicated, you'll get better performance. Actually, it's not doing that bad on balance mode. It's definitely not starving the CPU like the Omen was, right? 46 FPS here. It's actually, oh my God, it's so much quieter. Now you guys see why I game in balance mode. Yeah, I did lose performance though, but it's so much better. Oh, that's a chug. Look at that. Did you see that FPS drop? That's the CPU, my man. My mans and my wimans. Yep, see that? See that chug? That's the CPU. Yep, see that? That's what happens when you don't give Intel enough watts. It's like, it's trying to load in assets and it's just absolutely chugging. So my silent mode gaming video is a strictly AMD thing, right? See how it's chugging? Like dropping down to like 25 FPS. That's because when I do my gaming test video, you guys can come back and watch my gaming test video, you'll see. It's gonna know the CPU is gonna have not enough performance and then it's just gonna chug. So we can see here, that's basically it. So I think that's a pretty good test for the first kind of test video here for like the stream. I'll give you guys like a summary here. And then remember, I'm gonna have dedicated videos, at least 2 videos for each laptop. And I'm gonna do a comparison video. So then I'll be able to, take my time to curate the video, make sure that everything is properly set up, because I don't want to make errors doing things on the fly. But let me do a quick summary for you guys here. Paul Jones, do you regret switching to using a laptop? No, man. I'm loving the laptop setup. This desktop here on the right that is like plugged in, it has Windows on it. That's it. It does nothing else on it. I'm actually built it to sell. I did it for for fun. I had all these parts lying around. I'm loving the laptop only setup. So if you guys don't know, I'm trying to do like a laptop only thing. You'll notice I don't even have a screen. I'm getting a better screen. I don't have a desktop computer. This one here is not to be used. I'm going only laptop for a little while, where I'm just going to see how it is to only use a laptop, because I always talk about laptops. And some people use a laptop and a desktop. I think a lot of people do that. But a lot of those people buy, a productivity laptop and then a gaming desktop. I think people who have very powerful gaming laptops, even these would count, you can get by with just using having a nice screen, keyboard, and mouse setup, and then having yourself just a laptop, basically. Okay, so let's come out here and do my kind of conclusion here on these laptops for my preliminary. Remember, I'm going to have a dedicated review, dedicated review, dedicated review. I will also have a full gaming test where I test 6 to 10 super demanding games. I'm probably going to buy Ghost of Tsushima in the next 2 days so I can have, the most recent stuff. I'll do the standard stuff, Cyberpunk, this kind of stuff. GPU heavy games, CPU heavy games, and balanced games. Baldur's Gate, for example, is a balanced game. I'm going to do the same game tests for all of them. And then what I'm going to do is have one more video, which will be a comparative video, probably relatively short, like this stream, really compressed. We'll look at the internals. I'll compare the tests. I'll compare the screens, get the actual data on the games, put them in a bar chart for that one. That'll be bar charts, or pie, whatever it is, bar charts probably. And we'll get the actual raw data comparison on these and say what's the CPU, GPU, GPU, times by, for example. And then in this game, what was our average FPS on performance mode, what happened when to balance mode. So I'm going to have that video as well. So right now, if you're thinking I need to buy one of these laptops, if you're a Canadian, don't. That's it. Don't. Because they're too expensive. This is a $2,600 laptop, brand new. This model here with the 32 gigabytes. This one is $3,000 in Canada. This one is like $2,700 in Canada. I highly recommend, if you're Canadian or if you're American, but definitely Canadians, do what I did and get one of these open box off Best Buy. These are on, if you go to Best Buy Canada right now, I put links in the video description down below. But you can go to, I didn't put them to the warehouse, but go to the Best Buy Geek Squad certified open box, like this right here. This was $200 off. It was an open box, Best Buy. Just saved me $200. Brand new. It's just someone opened it, put it back in the box, and returned it to Best Buy. Save me $200. At that point, you're getting to the point of being fair. I don't recommend these laptops at full price right now. They're too expensive in Canada. In the USA, they're actually pretty fair, I guess. They're expensive, but after using them, I mean, you're getting like metal unibody, metal semi unibody. This is a bit plastic, but it's got really good performance, and the prices are much better in the USA. So I think they're actually pretty fair in the US, but Canada, I mean, you just get freaking slammed here. Yeah, and King Maniac Tech says 700 American. That would be 24. Yeah, exactly. So this was about 700 American dollars if you convert from the US to Canadian. For 32 gigabytes of RAM, Ryzen 9, I think it's fair at that price. In Americans, you can get better prices. Geek Squad Open Box is goated. Open Box Geek Squad is great. Yeah. Yeah, off the G14 2023, I got for like $1,200 Canadian, which is like 750 American dollars like a few weeks ago. That's crazy. And I just sold it to somebody. I actually sent it to an American, which is funny. It was cheaper in the US for once. Cheaper in Canada for once. So my first takeaway on these is they're actually all very nice. If they were all the exact same price, there was no price difference between them, I'd probably buy the G14 because it's slightly thinner. It has better audio, which is big for me. The screen, I like the screen on the MSI more, and I like the screen on the Omen way more because it's reflective, but I think a lot of people will be irritated by that. It does have pretty good cooling. It's a little annoying. It runs hot. The performance is probably mid-tier. It could be a lot better if you got a better laptop, like, a Legion OLED 14-inch. But I think what they're doing with it does make sense. It's really thin. It's very premium. So I think, you're going to be sacrificing performance by going with the G14, but it's very nice. We'll see when we get to my dedicated review, battery life. This whole narrative could change, but I think it is a very nice laptop if you can get it for a good price. The MSI is the cheapest of them by far. It's actually quite a bit cheaper. I got it brand new for what this was, open box. It is more plastic, but it does have the best theoretical maximum performance from what I'm seeing here. The most powerful CPU, does have the best cooling by far of all of them. However, there's some negatives to it. You can't game in balanced mode on this. It ran like crap. With the G14, you can throw it into balance mode and get really nice performance, and it's a lot quieter. So I think that's still going to be good. But the MSI here is nice. It's actually pretty nice. It's all going to come down to pricing. MSI can have some pretty good sales from time to time. And if you can get this on a good sale, I think it's a good option for you. A little bit thicker, a little bit more gamery, a little bit noisier. But it gives you a little bit more performance. The Omen is the tough one because in Canada, it's so freaking expensive. $3,000 on the HP website. And I couldn't find it anywhere else. The keyboard is really nice and snappy. It's all metal. The screen is the best of them, in my opinion. It is very reflective, which you may not like. And the speakers are okay, probably the weakest speakers. And then the raw performance on it is the weakest by far because it does have that somewhat limited wattage that Intel can take. If the Omen used AMD, I think it would be fantastic. But I think as right now, the Omen is so far the weakest of them. We'll see though when I do like battery tests and rendering tests and that kind of stuff. But the price is hard to justify off the cuff when you have these other two here. None of them have Ethernet ports unfortunately. I would say, wait for the dedicated reviews right now. If you really have your heart set on the G14 and you can get it in Canada, an open box, I think it's decent, an open box price. I can understand the price of it. Open box. Full price is too much. Or wait for sale. I mean, Best Buy, I don't think you can buy it anywhere else in Canada. No. So when Best Buy has a sale, you can buy it on like Memory Express, like local stores. But in terms of online, you go on Best Buy, wait for a sale, which they have one coming. They'll be on sale eventually. Grab that. Or just steal up some of their open box stuff, man. The open box stuff saves you a lot of money and it's worth it. Americans, I think you're probably fine to just buy it. The price is actually considerably more fair in the United States. I couldn't find this on as many websites in the US, the MSI, so I'm not really sure what they are there. The HP though, it's 140 watts over USB-C, I think was a mistake for them. Yeah, so I'm probably going to head out soon. Does anybody have any questions here? Can I flip the stream around? Hey, look at my stuff in the background. There you go. If anybody has any questions or anything before I head out, like I said, I'm going to have dedicated reviews on all three of the laptops. I'm going to have game tests for all three of them. If you have any specific game, someone said Counter-Strike. If you have any specific games you want me to test on one of these laptops, this video I think will turn into a post. Once I finish it, I'll close it. It'll turn into a post on YouTube. You can then post on the video and say if you want me to test a certain game. I don't pirate games, I will tell you that much. Specifically for my YouTube channel, I don't do that. But if I can get it for cheap, or if I can buy it, or if it's streamed, I have Game Pass. I have a bazillion games. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games. So request something and I'll check it. Is it Dolby certified? Ooh, I have to check that before the review. I don't remember if any of them are Dolby certified, actually, to be honest. I don't remember reading Dolby certification on any of them, actually. But it could have just been oversight on my part. Yeah, okay, so that's it for the stream. If you have any game requests for any of these, I'll do my standard like 6 to 8 games. I'll go buy Ghost of Tsushima. People have asked me for that. I'll do a CPU-based game, like maybe Counter-Strike or something, to really slam the CPU, because they have such different CPUs, and we'll test that out. But if you have any other games, just pop it in the comments below when the video goes into a video format instead of a stream. And there you go. Thanks for watching. We had, like, at all times, 18 plus people, probably in the long run, several dozen, maybe even 100 altogether. So it's really nice. Yeah, I'm new to streaming, so it's cool you guys come hang out with me. So thanks for watching. Hopefully, the long form video wasn't too much for you guys, and I'll talk to hopefully all you guys later.